And first things first, I want to go over what we decided here in the chat. The chat is currently not very visible because of the Steam Workshop thing. Let's get rid of that, actually. There we go. Now the cursor's showing up. Perfect. I did want to hop in here. I think if we go into the Content Manager, I think I accidentally left on the unlimited money from the last one. Yes, I did. Okay, let's turn that off. We definitely want that one off. Fantastic. And what we went over here previously, if I can move this to somewhere that's maybe a little more legible. Yeah, that's a little more legible for right now. We're going to want to move it again later, but this doesn't actually show it. So that's perfect. I'll just tell you guys what we're going to be doing here. So this is going to be an industrial cities skyline city in a mountainous map, and we'll decide which one we want to do here in a bit, but there's definitely a mountainous map, and there's an interesting wrinkle. We are not allowed to have roads of more than 2 lanes on the surface, other than highways that spawn at the beginning of the game and haven't yet been moved. So we are not allowed to place roads of more than 2 lanes unless they're underground entirely. That includes tunnels, like tunnels that connect to the surface. So those have to be 2 lanes or less. That's going to be interesting, no doubt about it. I'm not sure how we'll handle that one just yet, but we're going to do a new game here. And for the moment, I'm just going to go back to this location and then hide the chat while we're working in these menus. I'll bring that back out in a moment. And for now, let's see here. Now, the first one that came to my mind was Prussian Peaks for a mountainous map. I'm not sure if that's the one we want to go for. Twin Fjords is maybe a little mountainy. Let's see, what else do we have here? I think it's going to be Prussian Peaks. Wait, I don't have the map pack expansion? When did that come out? I thought I had everything. Okay, well, regardless, we're going to do Prussian Peaks. Sure. And apparently this is Westdale, but I'm instead going to call this Mountain of Industry. Apparently Industy. Okay, fantastic. Mountain of Industry. There we go. We'll go ahead and start that. And let's load this on in. Now, I'm going to put it for now on the Jazz Station. I do have commercials disabled so that it doesn't talk over me quite as much, but I'm going to put it on the Jazz Station for now. Let me know if you want any other stations. The only station that we cannot do because it is not stream safe is, I believe, Gold FM. But any of the other stations would be absolutely fine. Let me turn chat back on now that we are getting into game. Excellent. Okay, so this is where we start. That is not flat at all, and that's exactly what we want. It is very mountainous here. No doubt about that one. So, we're going to come in over here. Yes, I know how that all works. And we're going to need to get ourselves a bit of a residential area to start with. Yes, I know to build roads. So, the first thing that we're going to do is, of course, technically all of these here are completely fine for our rule set. If we were to expand out here, these would be fine to maintain as well. We just wouldn't be able to move them. They would have to remain in their original position based on the wording of the rule set here. So that's going to be interesting for sure. If we want to move them, they have to go underground. First things first, we're going to connect that together. Perfect. And then we're just going to get ourselves... The question is, are we going to go for like a bit of a grid here? Or something a little more naturalistic like I've done previously? I don't know. I feel like a grid doesn't really fit on this coastline well at all, and that's probably going to be an issue. Not to mention, well, grids would allow us to do like regular on-ramps and off-ramps to our underground tunnels, right? So that's definitely something to consider. We could do a simple grid for the moment, because it's going to be connecting the grid. That's going to be interesting when we come out like over here. Now, do we have access to the resource map at this point? That one's pollution. That one's outside connections. That one's resources. So no, we can't figure out where the resources are to begin with. But I'm pretty sure we have ore here. That's the hope anyway. We're going to bring this out over this way for the time being. And we could make this be a basic grid. That's an option. We could also try to go for a hex grid. That's always hilarious and works terribly. Like, the game is definitely not meant for hex grids, and we're not going to do that. I think for now, all we're going to do is something like this, just to get started. Now, we're going to need power, we're going to need water, but for the moment, we're just going to zone this light residential here. We'll bring in some water over this way. Just bringing this straight on over, and then connect that to a pumping station that is out over here. Actually, refund of $18.75. How much does this cost to move? $500. We're going to move it. The reason is the water is flowing this direction. So we're going to move our pumping station to up here. I was originally intending to put our sewage pipe up there, but yeah, we don't want that to be a thing. Now we could put an eco water outlet here. For now, we're not going to. We're probably going to upgrade to that a little bit later. But there we go. We'll go ahead and do this for the moment. And then we'll run this straight on up. We better get at least one hex grid. They do not work well in this game. But we'll bring this up over here for now. I mean, yeah, they don't work well. But I can try. For now, that's not going to be a thing. We still need power. So as far as power goes, how do we want to do this? We could do a coal power plant. I feel like that's not really amazing. Wind turbines just don't output the... Actually, this is a pretty good spot for them. I mean, it would only be 8 megawatts, right? These are very expensive. And I think we'll get this tile first, most likely. Yeah, I think we're just going to run a wind turbine here to start with. And then we'll bring in a power line like this. And a power line over here. And then a power line would need to come up over this way. It's going to be awkward. But something kind of like that. Okay. Now this currently doesn't connect to anything. That will change. There we go. Cool. We'll bump it up to speed 3 for the time being, just so that we can get some real actual progress. And I also want to bump our taxes, but we can't do that yet. We need a population of 320 for that. Cool. So we're still going to have more demand here. We'll get these areas zoned. There we go. And because this road kind of disrupts the grid, what I usually end up doing if I'm going to build a grid is having a grid section like this and then building the grid off this way, which obviously this power line is awkwardly located for that. And I should have thought of that when I built that, but I didn't. So there we go. We'll get that going for now, and this is going to be kind of our main thoroughfare for the moment. Now, we may want to immediately do a bit of traffic planning here. Obviously, this can go either direction, right? That's not a thing. Or not a concern, rather. But this can only go this way. This can go 3 directions. So a potential issue here with all that lane crossing. And then there's this, right? And this can, of course, turn here. Or here. Awkwardness ensues. We're probably going to want to think about that, but for now, it's okay. So now we're starting to see some demand for commercial and industrial. This is not shocking, but what we're going to do is we're going to run this up over this direction. I want it snapped straight. That's snapped straight there. Okay, we're going to run this up over here, like so. If that was a hex grid, you wouldn't have the small grid square issue. Yeah, we would. We would have more issues, actually. We're going to bring this up over here. And this is going to be an industrial area for the moment. Just nice and separated. Cool. And of course, we're going to need power over here as well as water. There we go. Water's already good. No need for water for the moment. So that's great. Okay, we'll let that develop for a bit. And then the question is, where are we going to put commercial? Well, I don't know yet. But I do want this to be a fairly efficient city because it's all about like extracting and exploiting the resources. So that's going to be something that we're going to need to think about. This thoroughfare here will eventually have something underneath it, almost certainly. That's actually going to be an interesting way to do things. Just have like a 6-lane road going right down the middle, and then the off-ramp comes in like that and then connects like up here underneath. That could be a good way to run things, actually. Have I noticed I can zone low density? Yes, I've noticed I can zone low density commercial. There's not a ton of demand for that right now, so we're just going to fill in this area up here. I'm not filling out this road yet because we're running a deficit right now, and I don't want to build additional roads for the moment. Something smells fishy. It might be all of the sewage in this river. Probably. That's my guess, anyway. Okay, so we're going to come down over here, and we do need to expand our residential area. So we'll bring this down, and obviously this power line needs to be moved, which I will go ahead and do. We'll move this down over here, like so, and we'll just get rid of this. There we go. That's a little more out of the way. Any way to make that long road a tunnel? Oh, yeah, I did just address that. We will be making this long road eventually a tunnel. We just don't have the funding or the road types to do it right now. So this road will remain, I think, but there will be a tunnel underneath it, which will be where people are expected to actually drive. And we'll try to enforce that with things like speed limits. So that'll be fine. Cool. Lots of residential demand right now, and we will go ahead and zone this area. Now, this can be backed off eventually, but for right now, we'll just not. And we'll get that zoned as well. As far as commercial goes, I'm just going to zone a block of this up here, commercial, and it's going to be a little off-center, and it's fine. That'll get removed and changed later on. Now, that doesn't have any power currently. But we can run a power line up like that. We're going to be needing additional power soon. So we are probably going to want to drop a coal power plant up here, actually. There we go. And we are lacking a little bit of water on this side of the road. That is to be expected. And we're going to run a water pipe over here for now. And ultimately, we're going to want to change around how we have this water pipe done. I didn't really think about that, but sure. We're, of course, going to want to run a water pipe basically up the center of this road. Right here. And that means that this pipe will eventually move over this way a little ways, but that's not really going to be a thing until we unlock this tile out over here. So that's going to be a bit of a concern. Hey, we're now a little hamlet. We can get taxes and loans. And we've got garbage, healthcare, education, and campus areas. Cool. So, we're lacking in water up here, of course, and I'm just going to run this pipe all the way up here. This is off-center. Get out of here, you off-center pipe. Why would anyone want an off-center water pipe? There we go. Beautiful. So there's that done. We're lacking in workers up here. But we want to get this water flowing here. It should go soon. There we go. Perfect. And of course, we're going to need to get some garbage dealt with. We'll put in a recycling center. That will go up over this direction. Cool. And we're going to be running out of cash here pretty soon. So I do want to continue to extend out. Actually, let's go this direction. I want to extend out our residential over here real quick. Like so. And then we can pull back on that power line because we now have a power connection here. And we can fill that in to get us more population. We're no longer running a deficit. So that's fantastic. Very, very happy about that one. Oh, I wanted to check. What is our disaster settings here? Okay, this is still set on the previous stream settings. So I'm going to set this at like 25%, but disasters on. Cool. I don't want them to be super frequent, but I do want to have to deal with them now and then. Now, we're not going to be as vulnerable to disasters as Contiguity was. That was an archipelago, and we're going to be more likely to get things like tornadoes, which aren't going to be a huge deal here. Earthquakes, potentially. But tsunamis aren't going to be anywhere near as big of a deal. And we're going to be able to get some hydropower harvested here. There's a lot of flow in this river. So that's going to be interesting, too. We're going to be able to build a dam there. Excellent. So now that we're making money, we can control our taxes and raise up our taxes a bit if we wanted to. I feel like that's a bit unnecessary right now. That might stifle growth. So we're not going to do that for the moment. We're just going to extend our residential area out over here a bit. And we're currently just expanding this horizontally. Yes, I know about inland water treatment plants. That's fine. And we're going to fill this out. There we go. Oh, and there's some space out over here that we can continue to fill out for free as well. Cool. Now, we do want to get ourselves a school, and how much does an elementary school cost? 10,000. We're going to be able to get that pretty soon. We could go for a community school, but, I mean, statistically, an elementary school is just better. It's cheaper, it has less upkeep, and it has higher student capacity. So, there's that. Okay. Oh, yeah, we need water out over this way. That's to be expected, really. The best thing is tornadoes have little effect underground. Sure, that is definitely true. So we can bring this pipe up to here, and that'll be absolutely fine. Cool. It's been thunderstorming like the entire time that we've been in this city. That's slightly insane. We'll run some water out over here. I mean, we've only been here for like 5 months, but even so. Or no, we've been... Yeah, like 5 months. 4 months. Even so. That's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, tornadoes do have little effect underground. This is true. Can you view the industries yet? I don't think so. Yeah, we can't view the natural resources yet. That'll become available pretty soon, though. We're almost to our next milestone, which will be Worthy Village. And at that point... we can do forestry and agriculture specialization, which I think means that we're going to be able to see those districts, or rather those resources. I think. In theory. So we do need additional residential here, and I do want to continue to expand it out this way. We can't really feasibly expand it this direction just yet, but we can bring this out over here, and we'll do another one. And we'll just keep going for the moment. Just all the way on over. Beautiful. And we can just take that up to here and call that good for now. Okay. We're going to be able to change our power line here pretty soon. We can definitely zone this, and I'm just going to zone like that for the moment. And as this gets developed, we'll be able to remove this power line. So that'll be great. Okay. Yes, I'm aware of schools. We just didn't have the funds for it yet. Now we do, so that's fine. Let's see here. Self-sufficient buildings, blah, blah, blah. Firehouses and police stations. Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves a school. We'll build our school, our elementary school, right here. Not here, here, because there's going to be a road here. So we'll put that there. Fantastic. And then we're also going to need a fire station, or rather a firehouse, eventually. I'm just going to put these like halfway up. One here, and then we can't afford the police station just yet. But we'll get that soon enough. That'll go like just across the street from the firehouse. Cool. This tractor is moving very slowly. As someone who drives in rural Wisconsin fairly regularly, I know how this feels. Nobody can get past him. It's not a great feeling, but here we are. Okay, so we are definitely going to need some additional residential over here, but now that our electrical grid is much better over here, this entire power line no longer needs to exist. So we can get rid of that, no problem, which means, of course, that we can zone this entire area. Done. Now we're going to be able to expand down this way a little bit, and this way as well, for a residential area, so that's okay. Why does this keep bumping back to speed 1? Do I do that? Have I been making it speed 1? I don't think so, but maybe I'm just insane. That's actually pretty likely, I think. I'm probably just insane. Municipal healthcare is a standard in any other city of this size except ours. When are we going to get one? When we can afford one is the answer. We'll get there eventually. Now, this road definitely needs to be expanded up this way, and we can make these be one-ways once we get that done. For the time being, we're kind of lacking in the funds for that. So we're eventually going to need a medical clinic, but we also need not a firehouse, we need a police station pretty desperately too. We have some pollution up here, a wee bit. And we're going to extend this out over here, like so. That slope too steep, so I'm just not going to bother expanding out this way just yet. We'll go ahead and zone that up. And are we going to have any water issues out here? The answer is yes, but we can bring this water pipe over like that for now. Cool. So that'll give us some industrial to work with, driving that demand down a bit. And then we can start to develop our residential area out here. And then we can bring this over. We could join it in like this, but I hate that. So instead, we're just going to bring this road over to here and like dead end it here. Cool. And then we can zone all of this. This will need water. And we'll run our water down like that. That's all we need for the moment. Cool. Okay. Well, that will develop for the next little bit. Oh, there we go. Tiny town. Fantastic. So now we can work on some of our deficit buildings that we weren't done with. We can get a medical clinic in over here. We can get ourselves a police station, which would be right next to that firehouse, which... Was that you? No, that's a general store. Where did I put that firehouse at? There you are. Okay. They developed where I wanted to build the police station. Well, too bad for them. The police station is going in. Cool. Okay, what else do we unlock this time? We unlocked park areas, fishing industry, fishing routes, like a lot of water work, park fences, yeah. Mostly playgrounds. We got the high school. That's a pretty big one. And parks. Okay. So I don't believe we can afford a high school right now. Those are pretty expensive at $24,000. But for now, that's okay. Our elementary school is doing fine for the moment. Cool. So we definitely want... I think every time we go up in a milestone, it's resetting the speed. We definitely want to expand this road up over this way. Obviously, we're going to have some problems with our medical clinic being here. Spending money to relocate that isn't, you know, ideal, but it'll do. Where was that firehouse at again? Up over here. Okay, so that's going to have to move to the other side of the street. There we go. That's one of those things that I should have considered before placing it, but I didn't, so here we are. We're going to expand down this way because our residential demand is getting very, very high. It doesn't... Okay, there we go. It didn't want to snap into that position, but we'll just truncate this here, create a dead end, and zone in a little bit more residential because we've got a lot of demand for that. And then we can bring this pipe back, but we were bringing this pipe back. There we go. I say you should wait a while to build the high school because they're 500 per week. Yeah, they're very expensive. That's definitely absolutely true. Now, I'm going to continue to build out our residential area over here. We do need to have more residential. So we'll bring this on over, and that will cause some people to move out because we bulldozed their houses to make roads. But that'll be fine. There's going to be a water issue over here for sure. And let's see, where do we need that? Okay. So we would need that, like, I don't like the way I have this set up. I'm going to get rid of this and this. We're going to bring back this water pipe to here. This water pipe will eventually need to be moved and be replaced with this water pipe. Now that's going the entire length for right now. I'll leave that be, but this water pipe will get removed. And then this water pipe can come back to here. Cool. We only need a water pipe every other road here. And there we go. How are we doing on power? We should be reasonably fine on that. Yes. Fantastic. So our population is about 1,000. And we absolutely, at this point, need to build this road. So, obviously, there's more things that are going to have to move, and this is relatively expensive. We'll just bring this up to here for now, 4,000 that costs. Cool. That'll do just fine for the moment. Only elementary school, 1 store, and 1 clinic. Get a nuclear power plant, and this is basically Springfield. Yeah, that sounds right. Unfortunately, we can't get a nuclear power plant until our population is substantially higher. That's an oil plant. This is a nuclear plant. Yeah, we need 32,000 for a nuclear plant. So, that's quite a ways out of reach for right now. We do need more industrial, and we will expand that out this direction, I think. We'll just go ahead and build straight on through those rocks, and we will get that done. Cool. Remember, we're not so much about environmentalism with this build. We are exploiting resources, and these horizontal pipes are going to be clashing horribly with what we've got going on here with the vertical pipes, but we're not really looking to be super efficient, but we're putting all of our heavy traffic areas underground so that we can claim we're doing, like, I don't know, carbon capture or something, so that we get the environmentalists off of our backs. That's how this is going to work. Fantastic. You know, we're making some sort of an effort, in theory. But probably not really much of one, if I'm honest. Is this... this power line is necessary, but this one down here no longer is, actually. We no longer need this power line because we are developed almost all the way up here. Almost. We do need a little bit of power line, but not that big one. So what we need over here at this point is a power line like that. Much cheaper to maintain. Cool. Now, we're going to need to move the... coal power plant eventually. Factorio in city skylines. Will there be a dumpster area for pollution? That's kind of what this is, in all honesty. That's the reason why we have this way away from our residential area. But we need to move our recycling center to this side of the street. There we go. And eventually we're going to need to move our coal plant as well. And I'm going to move that like over here when we've got the money for that. But we don't just yet. It's not pollution, it's just rain clouds, nothing to see here. I like it. That sounds correct. Cool, so no major traffic issues at this time. And we do have a pretty good amount of demand here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to need to create a differentiation at some point here. The question is, what point would that be? Maybe like here. Something like that. I want to double check that this is correct. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so we'll bring that out kind of like this. And this will be the start of our commercial development. There we go. We've got more residential space over here that we can utilize. But this is going to be a fairly thin layer here. We'll see how thin. But for now, it'll be fairly thin. Sir, why is my water black? We put Coca-Cola in the water pipes. We're just trying to, oh yeah, water over here. We're just trying to make sure that everyone is feeling well taken care of. Coca-Cola is what everyone wants in their water pipes, right? I don't want Coca-Cola in my water pipes, for the record. Okay, we're going to move up over here, and we need to get this coal power plant moved so that we can finish constructing our quote-unquote main thoroughfare here. This isn't actually going to be a main thoroughfare. This is going to be like the surface portion of it. And down beneath, we're going to have the main thoroughfare, but we just don't have the unlocks for that yet. So we're going to bring this up to here, and then bring that in. That, of course, disconnects this power line, which we can actually truncate, and that power line can go over here instead. Beautiful. And now we can change these to be one-way roads, now that this is all done. So this becomes one-way, and let me just think here. Yes, this way would be correct, and then we want this to go this way. Cool. So we're not really changing too much here in terms of like how much traffic throughput we can do. What we are doing, flip that around. What we are doing is making sure that intersections are a little bit better. There we go. It does not want to do this the correct direction, but perfect. Okay. Now, one thing I want to think about is, do we have these cross streets here? We have them down here. We don't have them up here as of right now. We have them here. Oh, nice, there's a fire. Looks like the fire department already took care of it. Ruminating about CK3 exploring the fate of Iberia starting as a kingdom of Canary Island pirates would be neat. They have access to West African canoes, which would allow you to raid. Interesting. That's definitely interesting. Canary Island is one of those starts that I would be very interested in. I like starts in those kind of like out-of-the-way locations that aren't like super dominated by main powers. I had to protest for years before they put Coca-Cola in my town's water pipes. These guys have got it lucky. Absolutely. Like, look at how good their lives are. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're going to continue to expand our commercial area here because there is a fairly hefty demand for that. So we'll just do that for the moment. And yeah, that'll be okay. Cool. Closest thing to nature in this city are people's houseplants. How about a park or two? Why would you want a park when you have all of these mountains? Just go mountain climbing. It'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be okay. It's not a dangerous hobby at all. So we're going to come up over here. We need to work on expanding our industrial area. So we're going to bring this up to here, and then over to here, and then over to here. This is going to allow us to shorten pretty dramatically this power line here in a bit. We're not quite there yet, and I'm not going to zone this area just yet either. But we'll just allow that to fill up, and that should allow us to do this. Actually, let's take a look here. No power line necessary now. Beautiful. So we will get that zoned and that zoned. Oh, hello, Boomtown. Or industry specialization. Beautiful. So let's see where resources are. That's this one. Oh, hello. I was getting out of the tool there. So there's ore up here. There's ore over here. There's no ore in this mountain, which is sad. You should be able to designate vacant land as a park in this game. I mean, that would be pretty cool, actually. Basically how national parks work here in the US. Yeah, that'd be nice. It'll be fine, the mayor says, while being eaten by a skinwalker. That sounds right. So it looks to me like we actually want to grab this tile over here. And when can we grab that? Actually, we can do that now. So both of these tiles have a decent amount of ore in them. Yes. The closest thing to nature in this city is houseplants. Meanwhile, a literal forest and mountain is 100 meters away. Yeah. Sometimes Twitter is not very smart. So the question is, which of these do we go after? I think this is the denser concentration, if I'm reading this correctly. So I think we'll go out over this way. We'll purchase this. Actually, we can see. Yeah, there's no tooltip there. It's just the bar. It's a little hard to see. I think we're going to go for this one. We're ultimately going to get both. So we'll purchase that. Here's a question. Are we allowed to make bridges? I don't know. We're not quite to the point here. Actually, we can get both of these right now. So we'll get both of these for the moment. And the question is, how do we want to get across the river? Do we make bridges or do we make tunnels? What do we have for roads right now? We have some stuff, actually. We've got 6-lane roads at this point. So, I mean, that would be a bridge there. But, of course, we'd be looking potentially to make a tunnel over here. Slope too steep, but we can definitely do that. Okay. So, I do want to see... Well, we can actually just go ahead and designate some districts here. So let's go into the ore mode. And we're going to designate industrial specializations or industry. Oh yeah, we need to just make a... We need to make a district for now. So we're going to make that district be about like this. See, I think I missed a little bit out over this way. Cool. That is apparently the Sunset District. Cool. And we're going to make that be an ore specialization. There we go. People need bridges? Ugh, can't they swim, the fussy plebs? Yeah, that's about right. They should swim. They definitely should. So we're going to get this ore industry area set up as well. Honestly, after we extract the ore, both of these would be a decent forestry industry too. I just made that high square. So we're going to get rid of high square, and we're going to expand the Smith Park, apparently. We're just pretending that this is a park, I guess, because Twitter is mean to us. Cool. Like, you can go to the strip mine park. It'll be great. I promise. Lots of materials there. Would a national park be like a district? So I think that a national park would end up being... Like, the closest thing that would probably end up being would be like this park area here. Is my guess. Put some buoys on their car and go crazy. I like it. That's a great concept. But we do need to figure out how we're going to cross this river. Now, this is a very, very steep drop-off, and so tunnels are going to be very complicated for crossing the river. I think the same rules apply to bridges as they do to regular roads. If they're exposed on the surface, they can only be 2 lanes. I think that's the way this is going to end up working. So if we need higher thoroughfare bridges, then we're going to have to put them underground. So, our industrial is already out over this direction. We could easily extend this out and have this road come out something quasi like this. This is actually fairly correct. Kind of like that. First, we will take the ore, then forests. Suck it, nature. I like it. That's about right. So we could take this out this way, and then branch off this direction eventually. It's not a terrible concept. But it's a park, so it'll be fine. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Our conservation efforts will be extremely effective. Wouldn't the forest be destroyed by the mining operation? You'd think, but I don't think that's how this game works. You definitely think that, though. That is correct. We were able to get it to here. So we'll do that. Now, I'm going to build it out this direction because it's easier to snap it. And then we'll flip it around. There we go. Cool. So we've got this coming up here. And they're pretty far apart. So I don't expect that we're actually able to bring in something like that. Yeah, this is pretty mountainous out over here. So, here's the question. That's all slope too steep. Okay, sure. We could run it up over this way, though. And then from here, run it like that. And really, this would all be one way. Like that. And then the question is, can we now run any crossroads here? The answer is no. Okay, so there's no real way to get going this way. Currently, once you come up here, you're just kind of staying. Cool. So we're going to head up over here. I want to check the exact borders of the Sunset District. Oh, I was thinking it was way over here. It's not. We're already in the Sunset District, so that's fine. We're going to pull this back. And for the moment, I kind of want to make this be a little bit more of a normalized shape. Kind of like this. There's going to be some areas here that aren't particularly well covered by the ore, but something kind of like that. We should send all of our children to the park every day. Yes, I strongly agree with this statement. Okay, so now basically this entire area is I was going to say is park. I mean, sure, this entire area is park. So we're going to take this road over, and that gets pretty expensive. For now, I'm just going to mark this with like 3 blocks. There we go. Cool. And the Sunset District here is going to be... Yeah, this is just outside of it. Okay, let's bring this down and have this road be part of it. There, kind of like that. I wish that you could like hold straight or hold shift and click to draw a straight line. That would be nice. Sadly, you can't, but it's okay. So we're just going to make our way up over this way. That's slope too steep. I'm not shocked about that. That's also slope too steep. This is a mountain right here. So like this is a cliff. So I'm not shocked. But let's see if we can bring it up over this way. That's a negative. We can't bring it in this way. And we could bring it in like this. It would result in a brief tunnel there. Okay. For now, we're going to need water. So we'll extend our water up over here and then run our water underneath this road. Cool. You can always do landscaping, remove the mountain with bombs, but that has a risk of destroying our ore, which we want to maintain. I know that's not how the game works, but RP-wise. So we're going to bring this around over here and then bring some power over. Cool. And now we're going to put in some mining industry right here. Fantastic. So there's going to be some awkwardness over here, for sure. And we do need to expand our commercial area. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm not expecting to have to expand this too much, but we'll bring our commercial area out over this way. And let's check our water situation here. Okay, we're going to need to bring up this water pipe here. And we can remove a section of this water pipe, which we ultimately wanted to do anyway. There we go. And I'm actually going to remove the whole thing. Cool. Including up here. Yes, this will break a lot of our existing water infrastructure. So we're going to bring this up and position that here. And then bring this pipe up and position it here. There we go. And then we can just connect that in there. That's a lot cleaner. And honestly, we don't need this horizontal line anymore either. So we'll get rid of that. Fantastic. You could make the mountain a living district, invite some dwarves into the labor. Yeah, that sounds good. Fantastic. Okay, so we need to expand our residential area for sure. And we can do that very easily by just coming up over this way. Bringing this in, and we're out of money. So we'll call that good for now. And we are going to put that in. We shouldn't have any water issues over on this side, for sure. We'll need to run water up over here eventually, but for now, this looks reasonably okay. This power isn't actually connecting. Ah, yes, it is not connecting. Fair enough. We can't put it in there. I don't suppose that would connect. That connects. I think. No, it does not. Fine. There we go. We've got some power there, and we need to run our water a little further up here, which is fully expected. There we go. Cool. Now, of course, there's no way to come back from up here. We should probably fix that. You go to the mine and you never come back. It's literally impossible right now. So I'm going to extend this to here and this to here, and then we can connect that. So that's beautiful, and we'll get that swapped on around. Okay. Are you going to use the industry DLC mechanics where you extract and process the ore yourself? That's kind of the idea, yeah. I don't exactly know how all of that works, but we're extracting the ore here right now, and we can process the ore in a lot of these locations like this that require raw materials, I believe, if I remember correctly. What are these guys doing? They're all trying to turn around here, and why are they stopping here? Well, this is very high traffic here on Holmes Street. So we're going to make a few more options for them. We're going to put one in here. And then, let's see, we need one. These are slightly off. So we would need one here. And then we would need one here. And then one here. Cool. One like this. That was not where I wanted it. One here. Just so they can have other places to turn around, right? So one there, and then up this way, and we will have some issues here. That slope too steep. Okay. In this mountainous terrain, we're not super shocked about some slope too steep. And then this one would connect in theory here, but it doesn't actually connect. So we'll call that good for now. This is all fully developable. That's definitely a word. Developable. Yeah, I'm sure that's a word. Okay, so that'll give people more frequent opportunities to turn around, which means that this clears up. We're having some issues out over here, and I'm wondering if that is because our recycling center, yeah, the garbage reserves here is full. So our processing rate on the recycling center is not good. Yeah, you can see here, our garbage processing status is less than half of our garbage production status. So we're going to need to get another recycling center. For the moment, we definitely need more residential. Definitely. And more power as well. Power is kind of a pressing concern. For now, I'm just going to put in a advanced wind turbine, maybe. These are some terrible advanced wind turbine spots until you get out to the lake. Okay. So we really can't get away with advanced wind turbines. I'm just going to plop in a wind turbine here. There we go. And that'll get going. Solving that for the moment. For the industry DLC, you create the industry area, you build your own mines and processing buildings. The way you have it now, private companies will do it themselves. Ah, okay. So I'm guessing it would be under the... let's see. I'm guessing it would be under, like... here? I mean, that's the specializations in the districting. We don't have building options here. Unique buildings, parks and plazas, transport. Garbage and industry. Okay, so ore industry would be out over here. Yeah, we should do it this way. I like it. We should do it this way. Production chains. This should actually be red. Industry areas can be created by using industry area tool. The type of the main building determines what kind of goods area produces. Industry areas need raw materials like oil or crops to operate. Raw materials can either be imported or gathered locally by extractors. Thanks to new storage spaces, industry areas can fully operate on imported raw materials only. Raw materials can be exported, sold to specialized zoned industry, or used by processing buildings. Processing buildings, in turn, produce special goods, which can be either exported, sold to non-specialized zoned industry, or used by unique factories. Unique factories produce luxury goods, which can be exported or sold to commercial zones. Okay. So this is our extractor buildings here, and these are our processing buildings. Got it. Honestly, the garbage menu is a weird place to put it, but sure. For now, we're a little bit lacking in funds to get that going. One thing that we should definitely do here is actually take out this loan here because it's so much less of a weekly cost. Yes, we end up paying more over the long run. I don't care about that. It's the weekly cost that I care about for now. So we're going to take that and we're going to use that to deal a bit with our garbage issue. We need more garbage processing. Like, a landfill isn't going to help because that's only garbage storage. So we need another recycling center, and I'm going to put it in up here. Cool. So that will help. That won't solve the problem, but it will certainly help a lot. We also need more residential. So we will come down over this direction and build out this segment of roads. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I don't have dams unlocked yet. I've already discussed building dams. We are planning to build a dam. This would absolutely be a good one for it. Let's see here. Dams require... That's geothermal there. Is that underwater? No, this is the hydro dam. It's hard to tell with the silhouettes. That requires 7,500. So we've got a ways to go on that one. So we definitely are going to need an additional recycling center for now. Eventually, we're going to upgrade to incineration plants and to waste transfer facilities and waste processing complexes. But for now, a recycling center is quite needed. So we're going to put one in right here. I'm just wondering if they make the lakes behind them. Absolutely, they can. They do cause the water to back up and rise up a bit, so we'd have to be a little careful with where we built it. Here would not be a good spot because the banks are pretty low. Over here would actually be a pretty fantastic spot for a hydro dam because of how high the water is here. Or how high the walls are here, rather. So that would be a pretty good spot. So at this point, we can now come over here and we can work on this ore industry specialization. An ore grinding mill here, sure. I want to show all of the buildings, so we need the main building. Sets an unassigned industry areas type to ore industry. Okay, so we need to unassign this district, I think. Let's see here. I need to remember how to do that. Right-click? Right-click. Okay. And then we come down over here, I believe. Well, this is still locked at this time. We need to create an industry area. So at this point, we come over to here and create an industry area. Okay. So this is different from the district. This is an area, not a district. Got it. We're going to bring this over. We can probably bring it up a little bit more. There we go. And then bring it down to about here or so. Cool. Like this. Got it. So the Sunset District is going to go away. We're going to get rid of it. It is not needed anymore. Cool. There we go. Are you keeping up with parks? Nope, we've not built a single park. Okay, so we are going to come in over this way. And we'll build our ore industry main building. This is all sloped too steep over here, but we can put it in right here. Cool. So, we have now unlocked a small ore mine, sand storage, and an ore grinding mill. Okay, I'm going to de-zone all of this over here. And there we go. So there's no workers here right now. And if we look at the industry area, we're not acquiring anything. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Now we're going to be a little low on cash to get all of this developed for the time being. And we are going to need to run our power line differently. So we'll go ahead and do so. The power line will need to come out over this direction-ish, if we can get there. We kind of can't, but if we were to bring this up in elevation a little bit, we could go over like this, and then bring it over like that. It's not awkward at all. Not awkward at all. I'll just connect it in a little bit more like this. Get rid of this section up here. There. And then this isn't connected. I thought I had this higher. Okay. We'll bring that up and over like that. There we go. Make sure you place the extractors. Yes, I saw that, but we don't have the cash for that right now. So we'll have to come back to that. This disconnected. And then this disconnected. And then that disconnected. This does not want to connect. Okay. We'll build it this way. There. Problem solved. Just had to brute force it. Sounds good. So we're lacking cash right now to build the extractors, but we definitely will do so. This is now the King Pit. That sounds very fun. And we've got our park over here. Quote-unquote park. Excellent. Now, as far as the actual industrial area to process that goes, we'll probably also have that be up in this area, I'm thinking. We could potentially get rid of this industrial area, or rather, this industrial area on this side of the street. Something like this, although there is ore out over here. So I've actually changed my mind on that. Maybe across the river. Okay. That'll do for now. Or we could have it like down here, potentially. So we would need to go into our garbage area here, and then we've got our ore industry area, and then we would need to process the buildings, which I think can also happen in the area. Yes. But we need our extractors, for sure. So this small ore mine here is what we would need next. And that would be producing 4,800 units per week. But that's 6,500. We don't quite have the cash for that right now. And we do need to zone a little bit of residential down over this way. And that is not the bucket fill tool. There we go. We'll zone a little bit of residential down here. Are we going to have any water issues? Yes, we are. We should extend these up a block. There we go. And as soon as we have the cash here, we will go ahead and put in an extraction. So it's good to have them in the spaces in between with no ore. Yeah, okay, sounds good. Did I set my taxes to the max? No, I didn't. Most citizens will go to 12% before complaining. I was actually able to go to 13% without complaining previously. I did not max them out, and we probably should at this point. So let's take it up to 13, and we'll see if it lets us get away with that. If it doesn't, we can back it back to 12. But yeah, in the previous city, I did do that, but we haven't updated that just yet. So we can definitely get ourselves our ore extractor. And I'm assuming that it has to be built on ore positions. Estimated production 4,800 up here. And yes. Okay, good to know. So if we were to put that, like, hypothetically up here, or even on this side, that slope too steep, but we could put it potentially here. So that'll produce 4,800 units per week. There we go. Now that's lacking electricity, and what I'm going to do to fix that is we're going to bring this up over here, and we're just going to run a power line up this center area. And hope that that connects. I don't believe that connected. That's unfortunate. Well, we'll just connect it here. That'll be fine. Okay. I'm not an expert on mining, but this looks like it's... Well, I suppose this guy's mining. I was going to say, this just looks like some vehicles parked on a concrete pad. But there is some mining going on here, I suppose. So that's fine. We haven't built a post office service yet. That is true. That is something that we are eventually going to need to do. But what I want to get done next, if we look at our industry area info, we are currently produced 12 units. Okay. So we're not currently producing any metals or glass. We're just outputting our ores. And that's definitely something that we want to work on. So an ore grinding mill would cost 20,000. We'll have enough for that fairly soon. That's all slope too steep over here, which is unsurprising. And we would like to put that, like, off over this direction somewhere. Ideally. It's all slope too steep on that side. Okay. We could maybe extend out this road. And see about putting it in somewhere down here. That might be a possibility. So let's go ahead and put in an ore grinding mill somewhere down over here. Like here. Here would actually work. So that's great. As soon as we've got the cash, which we do now. And that's going to need water, which is unsurprising. And it'll need power as well, which is also unsurprising. There we go. Cool. So we're mining here, and then we are currently... Well, actually, what's the processing speed of this? Yeah, ore to metals, fair enough. But what's the processing speed? Production rate is 3,200 units per week. I'm assuming that's the processing speed here. So a small ore mine can feed like 1.5 of these, if I'm reading that correctly. So 2 of these, or rather 3 of these, would need 2 small ore mines. I believe. Now, do these automatically transport? I think they are. That ore truck is importing ore to the ore grinding mill, which isn't necessarily what we want to do, but sure. So that's now beginning to process. Yeah, freight trucks in use, 0 of 5. And this one is using all 5 freight trucks. Presumably it was just exporting it out of the city via the highway, is I think what was happening there. So that's fine. Cool. So we need 2 small ore mines to produce. That would be 9,600 per week. Yes, so it's a 2 to 3 ratio. Sounds good. So if we were to get another small ore mine up over here, we would want to come in here and put in another mine right about here. Now we could put it in like here and squish them together. And I'm going to do that. And they're going to be lacking in power, of course. So we'll bring this over. Is that going to be close enough? No. No, it is not. That would be. It's awkward, but it'll get the job done. Are those two roads one way? They don't have a connector for this side of the river. Yeah, they do. They connect up over here. They are one way, but they go around like this. Although this one isn't one way, and so there's only one lane here. I should fix that. There we go. So yeah, they have to go all the way around up here. It's sloped too steep between these two areas because, yeah. But they do have a connector up here. It's not efficient, but right now it's not a problem. We will address that later. Why isn't the local government doing anything to stop the fires? We have a firehouse, but I'm assuming we probably need another one. There's a power issue down over here too, and I'm kind of tempted to create a coal power plant up here just to power this area. I mean, it'll be able to flow power to the rest of the area as well, but that's kind of what I'm tempted to do here. Have that go, like, over here or something? That would cost 19,000. We'll have enough for that soon. I want to check to see... Okay, we're using 44 units per week. Okay. It's not a ton. Not a ton at all. And when are we going to get this leveled up? We need more workers, and we need to produce more resources. Okay, sounds good. Okay. There's a fire up over here, but we're on it. We've got that under control. Just takes a little bit. It'll be fine. So as far as power goes, we definitely want... Yeah, disaster response units. We definitely want to put this in somewhere around here. We can always move it later. But there we go. And looking at that, we no longer need this. Cool. So now, of course, we need to expand our ore grinding mill. This is still having not enough raw materials, and I think that's because a lot of the trucks from up here are exporting. So let's see what happens here. Freight trucks are returning, and that's exporting ore products. This one is returning to facility, but that's just imported products. Okay. So the ore storage here is declining, and the metal storage is increasing. Okay. Maybe save up for a bus depot so you can set a city loop and a commuter bus to the ore area. Maybe. I mean, we aren't really having a huge issue with that right now, although we are having an issue with dead people. We should probably do something about that. Now, cemeteries are really awkward, and I don't really love them. But we should get one of them. And I'll put it over here as soon as we have the cash. We definitely need one of those, and we'll just hold off on expanding our ore area for a little bit. Our services and our demand is fairly high, so we'll hold off on that. We'll put up a cemetery here. This is a temporary measure. Cool. This fire's under control. And we need a dead person picked up over here, but we're on it. Okay. Whoa. That was exciting. We definitely need to get ourselves some additional residential over here. That slope too steep, so we're going to have to not have a crossroad here. That's okay. And we'll bring this out kind of like that. I don't love not having a crossroad here, but it is what it is. Now, a lot of this power line over here, in fact, all of this power line is entirely unnecessary. And can we bring the road up over this way? Yep, we can. We just can't connect it here. That's fine. And we can bring it in like that. How are we doing on water over here? Just fine is the answer. Maybe you should connect the facilities better. The one way makes it hard to bring the ore to the metal plant. That is a good point. Absolutely. They have to go all the way around to here and then up to here. That is a good point. So once we get up here, I think I'm going to make all of these be bidirectional, like so. There. We're not having any major traffic issues up here right now. If we have any, we may have to do something about that. But for now, this'll do. Cool. That is a good call. So we're going to get some additional industrial up over here. There we go. And we definitely need more residential over this way. There's going to be a bit of a gap here, but that's fine. And I'll just zone in all of this. Some of that will be deleted later on, but we'll just get all of that zoned for now. A little bit more commercial demand, so we'll expand this road out a bit. There we go. And that should handle that commercial demand for a little while anyway. And we should probably consider getting some additional emergency services down over this way. But that'll be fine. Maybe combine the 2 roads at the bridge and form a 4-lane road. We are not allowed to have any roads over 2 lanes at the surface. That's part of the rule set of this city. So that's something that isn't going to work. For now, we're going to leave this be, but we will eventually be having an underground main thoroughfare under here. We're just lacking a little bit to get that done. Although pretty soon we're going to be able to do it. Realistically, we probably could start working on that now. We could bring this in, and we would want that to be like right here, going directly underneath, starting about here-ish. And then that would just go straight underneath all the way up, right? Something like that. And then we'd have on-ramps and off-ramps onto it, is the idea. So, and then we would speed limit everything up here. Oh, we have a water issue up over this way. That's not shocking. We'll just run this pipe up for the time being. And there we go. Little bit of a potential issue over this way as well. I'll just run a horizontal pipe over there to clean that up. And there we go. Cool. Elder care is a possibility. I was going to say we're a little short on money. We're kind of not, but I want to spend that money on additional processing over here. So we know that it's a 3 to 2 ratio, right? So I would love to get additional processing over this way. We could actually surprisingly build it on this side. I'm pretty surprised by that. But this is very steep over in this area. Not shocking at all. We'll just get the one built for now, and eventually we're probably going to have to terraform over here to make that fit a little bit better. Okay. How are we doing on this? Can we set where our... Actually, can I grab this? Apparently not. It just is where it is. Awkward. Okay, so can we set what we're allocating here? I believe not. What are these doing? Improved logistics. Increases the storage capacity by 20%, but increases the upkeep by 10%. I feel like that's actually indicative that you're having bad logistics, but okay. Improved work safety. Why would we want that? And advanced automation. Increase output and upkeep by 10%. That's probably in the category of not right now, but in the future. Cool. So we still need to expand our residential here, and we will definitely do so. Not with this road, I can tell you that. We're going to head over to here. Like so. Fantastic. And that'll give us a good amount more space. We should have water in this already. And we do. There we go. That will get us some more residential. Pretty soon we're going to unlock dense residential. Well, we're about halfway to dense residential, actually. So that's going to take a bit. We will expand out over this direction with our commercial, because our commercial does require some expansion. And there we go. How's that water looking? Yeah, we'll run this water straight on up. There we go. And to about here. Get rid of this horizontal water pipe, which is no longer necessary. Bring that guy up. Automation would also need higher IQ people, and we can't have people that can think to defy the glorious mayor. I mean, that's a good point. We don't even have a high school at this point. I should put one of those in. There we go. That was most of our money. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Demand for commercial is still rising for the moment, so we're going to continue to expand out our commercial area here. That was almost sloped too steep for a moment there. Okay. So what do we got going on over here? Okay. Just looking at that there. So we've got the workers for our next level. That's fantastic. We're not making a profit at this moment. And that's because we're outputting 8 tons of our ores into exports. So that's not necessarily ideal. And instead of sending them into our ore grinding mill. Very awkward there. They can come down this direction at this point and turn in here. And then just turn around here. So that would be fine. There's a profit of 940 right there. I think with smaller industry areas, you don't get big exports every week, so you lose small amounts of money until the big sale. That sounds like a... That sounds correct. Like it only exports when you reach a certain level. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. But that's fine. We are going to immediately look to get another one of these guys. So I want to... See, that's the relocate building. I thought that there was a duplicate building button, but apparently not. Or I'm blind, one or the other. But we're going to need to level this area out. So we're going to come into here, and we're going to grab the level terrain tool. And let's just turn up that brush size a little bit. Oh, hello. King Pit has reached level 2. Efficiency plus 4%, pollution minus 10%, and we unlocked a bunch of new things. The Ore Industry Workers Barracks, the Industrial Steel Plant, the Glass Manufacturing Plant, the Ore Storage, and the Small Ore Mine Underground. Okay, we'll look at those in a moment, but I want to get this area knocked back a little bit. And let's see what that does in terms of being able to build another ore grinding mill here. Yeah, we got it. Okay, cool. So there we go. There's that level 1 setup. Cool. Now, let's take a look at those new buildings. The Glass Manufacturing Plant uses mined ore raw materials to produce glass sheets that can then be used, for example, in the manufacturing of windows or windshields. This processing building requires ore to produce ore special good, glass. I feel like that needed a little bit of proofreading, but okay. Processing building needs to be placed inside industry area. In fact, all of these tooltips have has some grammar issues. I feel like they should probably fix those, but it's not a huge deal. So for our processing buildings, that's what we've got there. Ore Industry Workers Barracks here. It increases the work efficiency of workers in the industry area. Each building increases the work efficiency by 5% up to the maximum of 100. Auxiliary building needs to be placed inside industry area. Okay, so you can have up to 20 of those? Or are there other ones that can increase the efficiency? Well, we know that just going up in the level increased our efficiency. Efficiency plus 4. Okay. So that's definitely something that's good to know. So that's a small ore mine there. The underground small ore mine does produce more. 50% more. I think. Approximately. Okay, so one small ore mine underground would fulfill the needs of 3 of these. So that's 6,400, and then the glass plant, that's a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, gotcha. And then as far as sand storage goes, That can be placed outside of the industry area. Interesting. So I feel like we should have one of these storage sites. There's going to be a lot of slope too steep over here. That's for sure. But I would love to place it somewhere over this way-ish. Like, down here would be basically ideal. So we would need to grab the landscaping tool, grab, like, this level here, and then work on leveling out a spot for it over here. And hoping that this isn't too big of an issue. We'll see. So bringing that out, our soil availability is what it is. Okay, so that cost us a fair amount of cash, obviously. But we are then going to hopefully build the sand storage out over this way. That's still sloped too steep, but we may be able to remove this section of road here. And at this point, rebuild it. I'm not sure that actually helped. I'm going to take that back out, and we are going to continue to level this off over this direction. Now, we may well end up with a bridge here. Yes, wanting to build a bridge, which isn't exactly what I wanted. I personally recommend the ore industry fence. I mean, is there an ore industry fence? There is. That is a sheet metal fence. Okay. Cool. So we definitely want to get this situation sorted. And the way I'm going to do that, actually, is by removing this section of road. And then we're going to try to build this in without that bridge. The bridge still exists, which makes me sad. But this might be flat enough over here now. I kind of doubt it. I kind of doubt it. But we'll see. Yeah, we would want it to be like over here. So the way I'm going to do this then is no, I don't want to demolish this. I want to move the coal power plant temporarily, at least, to be up here. And then we'll get rid of all of this part of Pearl Street. And then I'm going to smooth terrain over here. So we'll soften this terrain with a big brush. About like this. And then we'll bring this guy on down. There we go. Now the question is, can we actually build this down here? I think the answer is still no. That's all still sloped too steep. I'm not super shocked about that one. We might be better off trying to level it off up here, actually. So we're going to grab this height here, and we're going to build it up this way if we can. We're out of cash, but did that do the trick? We need to take it back further. This thing's really long. Like, really, really long. Like, impressively long. Okay. How's that? Still too steep in the back. Okay. We'll push it out over this way. And that's our money for now. There we go. Now all we need is the cash. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the unique factory, right? Okay. We're not going to build that just yet, but for now, we do need to save up a little bit of money. And, did we have a water issue here? We did have a water issue here. We're going to bring that on up. And we are, of course, going to need to get rid of these abandoned buildings. They were abandoned because of the water issue. There we go. And we're going to need to continue to expand our residential. So we're going to run out of room in our residential district here eventually. That slope too steep, so we can't connect that. But we can connect it over here. Okay. Connecting this here and here. Unfortunately, cemeteries are awkwardly sized. So we're just going to be able to do this for the moment. And once that cemetery goes away, we will be able to get rid of that. Or rather, we'll be able to build in that road. So that'll be fine. We're going to make our way up over this way. And slope too steep. Sure. Okay. So we're going to zone in a bunch of this, actually basically all of this, residential. And we're going to be running out of residential space here eventually, but there we go. How are we looking for water? Looks good. Okay, let's get that storage facility built. That goes here. And then there's also, actually, that's the ore storage. This is sand storage. Gotcha. A 10-meter ICBM on the lake to the east. It will be a glorious show of force against the Kerbins and their frugal space mining corporation. I mean, you're not wrong about that. That would be an excellent show of force. We could do that. So we would go into here and spawn... Wait, where's the spawn disaster at again? I barely ever do this. Here it is. Okay, so we wouldn't do a sinkhole. We would do a meteor in the lake. That's out of the city limits. So we would need to expand our city limits just to do this, which we can't currently do. Let's actually hold off on that. But we will do that. We will get a new area here. We can buy the lake just for the meme. It'll be great. I assure you. So this is sand storage here. This is not ore storage. Now we could put in ore storage potentially up here. Yes, we'll do that for now. We might want to extend this road this direction, but for the moment, this should be fine. Cool. Oh, hello. We got our busy town there. Cool. So what all did we get? A bunch of fancy roads, hospitals, fire stations, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Who needs those amenities? Not us. That's who. All we need is the ore. So we are going to not purchase it. We didn't get a new space then. We get one at Big Town. Okay. So we need to continue to grow here. And we've got some space to do so. That's for sure. I wouldn't mind expanding our commercial zone up over this direction. Something like so. That is not where I wanted that road to go. Get out of here, you disgusting angled road. Okay, perfect. And we're just going to fill this up with commercial. And we may need water. Yeah, we'll need a little water. We'll just expand our water pipes out. Fantastic. Okay. So that's great. Now, as far as this up here goes, our ore storage is... Well, actually, our ore storage is currently balanced, aiming to keep it half full and half empty. That actually works. I like it. Citizens of our precious city, we just bought a lake, and with the power invested in me, we are nuking it. I assure you, the tsunami that comes is for the greater good. It is for the memes. I like it. That's great. We haven't bought it yet, though, but I'm going to hire you as my speechwriter. Fantastic. So we need to bring this back up to speed 3. And as far as our sand storage here, is storing ore. So is ore and sand the same thing, just thematically different? I don't know. Maybe. We have a decent amount of cash right now, and I would like to get ourselves... Actually, let's check here. Yeah, this just produces ore. Okay. I want to get an underground ore mine. Can we cram that in right here? Yes, we can. Beautiful. And so we shall. And then I also want to get ourselves, eventually here, a glass production facility. So a glass manufacturing plant here, as opposed to an ore grinding mill. Rotary kiln plant wouldn't be a terrible idea either, but of course, for now, we would look to put this in over here. That's all sloped too steep. We might be able to get it in there. I was just hoping that we would be able to make use of what we had previously landscaped. No such luck. Checking to see if there's anything valid out over here. I highly doubt it. Like, I very highly doubt it. Yeah. Nothing over there for now. So eventually we're going to need to expand this. For the FBI agent watching this stream, if the president of the US needs a speechwriter, here I am. Exciting stuff, that. I'm sure he's going to leap at the opportunity. So I'm going to build a road out over this direction, and we are going to use... Well, actually, let's take a look at our ore usage. Okay. I'd really like to have the facility be down here. So I think that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to come over here and not drop a meteor here. We're going to have to landscape and flatten out an area over this way. And it's going to need to be pretty steep here. Like, this is a pretty long building, right? We're getting a lot of soil here. That drops down pretty heavily. I'm going to get rid of this section of road that we extended out. It doesn't have to be elevated like that. So there we go. And then we're going to put in this glass manufacturing plant, and that can fit in right there. Beautiful. Okay, it's going to need water, and we'll bring that on up. Cool. Get rid of all these Twitter messages. I still wish that they would add in a dismiss all Twitter messages button. That would be awfully nice. But let's take a look at how our orage facilities are going here. 28% full and 40% full. Okay, so we're mostly just filling these right now because we're aiming to keep them 50%. Is the current goal. Trash. Yes, there probably would be a trash issue. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, our garbage processing capacity is slightly low. I'm going to toss in another recycling center here. Our processing capacity isn't good, but we can't make it better until we get incineration plants. They have like double the processing rate of a recycling center, so that's going to be very helpful. Okay. So we do need additional residential. We might want to consider putting that out over here. So hypothetically, if we were to extend a road out over this way, yes, that seems like it works. Cool. So from here, we can expand, slope too steep, but we can expand out over this way and bring this down like so, connect it in like that. We're going to need power here, and that should be quasi-easy to achieve. Something like that. And then we would put in some residential here. We'll need water as well, and to get that, I think that I will just extend out over like so. Cool. Can everyone else see my message about the asteroid, and is it only omitted from the stream display, or does it keep getting censored? Let me check. And unfortunately, when I tab out, Cities continues to scroll, so we're gonna be here now while I check to see if your message is being withheld. No. No, YouTube isn't holding your message. Or rather, I'm not seeing a held message by YouTube. Okay. So we've got ourselves a shiny new residential area out over this way. Of course, the Smith Park is eventually going to be subsumed by the King Pit, but for now, this is fine. We can build a medical laboratory if we so desire. We don't. Can we build crematoriums yet? No, those require 12,000. Okay. It's really, though, once we hit 5,500 that things are going to really start accelerating, because at that point, we're going to be able to do high-density residential, which is going to mean we're going to be so much more space efficient. So much more. Oh, hello. That's a power issue. What do we got going on here? Ah. Our coal plant up here is on fire. Okay. I am going to create a dedicated fire station for up here. It's so much overkill. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make a firehouse. There we go. Now they'll have that under control. There we go. There's a bit of a forest fire going on over here, and we don't have any fire helicopters to be able to deal with that. So one thing we might want to do is we can't actually put in fire watch towers yet, but we can get fire helicopters. And I think that we should definitely do that. I would like to put it in over here. That slope too steep, which I'm surprised by. But we could get it in like over here. It's awkwardly sized. Slightly too large. So one of these roads will be blocked, but that's okay. So we'll put in a fire helicopter depot, and they will come out here and start fighting this forest fire. There we go. Cool. 6656 units per week. Okay, so these ore mines are beginning to be depleted, I think. I actually didn't expect it to work that way, where they would deplete the local area that quickly. I guess that makes sense, but I expected it to be more along the lines of the entire deposit. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't expect it to work that way. Sure. Let's look at the natural resources here. We're using 55 per week, but yeah, we can definitely see that this area is getting depleted. So we could definitely relocate this building to be up here. And then we could relocate this mine. We clearly want our mines to be a little bit more spread out than they are. So I'm going to move this mine. Well, actually, I'm just going to extend out this road for the time being. And then we can move this mine to be about here. And then this mine to be about here. Okay. And that'll clean out some of those areas. Of course, we're going to need a power line out this way. These are technically connected, so that's fine. And then we're going to need water out here, too. No problem. There we go. Cool. Much better. Forestry is a good infinite alternative to the mines. Trees can always grow back. Yep. We are not going for that right now, but once we have this area fairly mined out, we are going to swap it over to forestry. That is the plan. This is all acceptable for forestry, so it should be fine. Of course, areas like this are way better, but forestry is good. Forestry is definitely good. But we're experimenting with how the industry DLC stuff works. So we should probably consider, let's see, what do we actually need for some of these unique factories? This industrial steel plant takes in metals. So that would be what these ore grinders are producing. Cool. And I'm guessing since they're unique factories, we can only build one. Okay. Whoa, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. Okay. And it's also expensive, 75,000. But we're going to want to get that eventually. Whenever I type Kerbins, it doesn't appear on the chat overlay. Interesting. I definitely don't have Kerbins as any sort of, like, forbidden language. And I'm not seeing anything being held for moderation either. So, I don't know. Can you try just saying Kerbins? And we'll see if it goes through. We'll experiment. I'm not sure what's going on with that one. We definitely need more residential, so we can zone up some of this. Cool. Get out of here, Twitter. Nobody likes you. So we're not really seeing any major traffic issues for right now. That's not shocking. We need to get water out here. That would help. We'll bring this up here. Kerbins. Okay, I see it on the chat overlay and everywhere else as well. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. That's really weird. It seems to be working fine from my end anyway. Huh. Well, we're going to bring this up over here. It's a top chat versus live chat thing. Okay. Interesting. The chat, as I tab out here, City Skylines doesn't stop when I tab out, so we're going to be looking at this corner. But the chat system here that I'm using, I don't believe that I can choose between top chat and regular chat. I wonder if I can do this. We'll see. Or perhaps this. No, I don't think I can choose between top chat and live chat. I'll have to experiment with that after the stream is done, I think, and see how I can get that to happen. Actually, I think I would have to change the transform of it, and it would be a whole thing. But I might be able to do that. I'd have to do that every time, I think, though, because it defaults to the top chat. I don't know. I'll see if I can maybe find a better solution to that. But for now, we'll just continue with it as is. So we need to get population. That is our biggest concern right now. And we'll just get a few more blocks over here. And eventually we'll be replacing these with dense residential, and that will make things a lot more efficient. Cool. Our citizens are unhappy because we don't have parks. Well, here's a park. I'm sure they're fine. We're lacking a little bit in power. I do want to buy the lake, and it's not just for dropping the meteor into the lake, which would be fun. The reason that I want to buy the lake is because look at all of that advanced wind turbine space. It's so good. But we do need power. And we're, I think, also a little short on water. No, we're not short on water. We just need to extend out our water pipe. There we go. So as far as power goes, we're running 2 coal plants right now. And we could definitely run an oil plant. I mean, we're polluting as is. But I think, for the time being, I'm just going to toss a single wind turbine up on top of this hill. Okay. And hope that that buys us the time that we need. Now, this was slope too steep, right? Right. Okay. I wish our city would have more parks. Why do you need parks when this is where you live? Let's see about getting them like a national park sort of thing. So we can make a park area. And I'm going to make like this forest down here be the park area. For now. Something kind of like this. Strawberry grounds. It sounds amazing where all of the pollution from the mine blows into it. Perfect. So we now have park items that are available, and we would want to go for not a zoo, but for a nature reserve. Okay. And we can take this road down over this direction, like so, and then do a nature reserve main gate here. Done. It is now apparently Cedar Park. Sure. It didn't use the park area. This is a district, I guess. A park district. So we'll just go ahead and expand the Cedar Park to take all of the Strawberry Grounds area. Sure. That'll be fine. And there, we have a nature preserve that people can go visit and not really do much in. Cool. I mean, we can build other buildings in here, I suppose. We can have nature preserve path with decorations. We can just bring this down. I'm not going to put much effort into this. We can bring this down and we can put in... Let's see. These are all just gates. A campfire site. What could possibly go wrong with a campfire site in the middle of a forest? Perfect. What else do we want? A campfire site number 2. There we go. Tents. Sure. And an additional tent. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to put much effort into this. Entertainment, 290. 410. Cool. Apparently they want water at the gate of their nature preserve. Okay, sure. The strawberries are mutated due to pollution. Just like the Founding Fathers intended. I like it. So we'll call this the Mutated Strawberry Park. There. We must preserve the new species of strawberry we have created. I like it. Now maybe they'll stop complaining about parks, now that we put minimal effort into a park. I like it. So we're still having power issues out over here. This is unsurprising. This was only a very brief stopgap. I'm going to put another very brief stopgap in here. But eventually we're going to want to probably build an oil power plant. I'm just trying to decide where I want to put that. In the nature preserve. Obviously. You'll obviously want an oil power plant in your nature preserve, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to extend this road down. And we will definitely put this in here. What kind of campfire costs 12,000? That is a good question. Actually, that is an excellent question. But we're going to put this oil power plant in our nature preserve. There we go. Beautiful. You can tell how much we are preserving nature just right here by how much of it we are setting on fire. I like how our entire nature preserve is fire-based. We have a coal power plant, we have campfire pits, the whole thing, and no fire watchtowers. It's excellent. Water in a nature preserve? Preposterous. Yeah, that's what the river is for. The river that we are dumping raw sewage into. But it's down here that we're dumping the raw sewage. We're not dumping the raw sewage up here. So they'll be fine, I'm sure. We do need more residential, and we will definitely get some. Okay, that slope too steep there. I'm not shocked that we're hitting that. I'm actually surprised we got as far as we did before this started getting too steep. So we'll come down over here. Maybe it comes with an irrigation system. Maybe. Okay. And we'll fill all of this out. We'll need water over here, of course, because people are very demanding. There we go. Expanding that out. Perfect. Hi, pause menu. Garbage down over here. But pretty soon we're going to be able to deal with our garbage issue. Or at least we'll be able to better deal with it. I'm going to expand our commercial area slightly. We probably don't need much commercial here, but we'll get a little bit in there. Low land values, huh? I mean, you're living on a cliff. What could be so low land value about this? I don't see any problems here. Like, have you seen your backyard? This is definitely not a hazard of any sort. Definitely not a problem. They're just whining. Is anyone complaining about the oil power plant in the nature preserve? No. No. Everybody's just like, this is normal. This is very, very normal. So that's great. We're not having any major issues as far as services go. So for the time being, what? People are abandoning their cliff houses? Ugh. What are you going to do? Well, we're going to expand our residential area here. That slope too steep. I'm not shocked about that. They demand parks. I think a city park and an empty space should do nicely. Oh, we gave them a park. We just happened to put an oil plant inside of it. It'll be fine. Okay, we're going to zone all of this and give them additional water. There's a lot of demand currently for residential. And that's good, because we need to expand to 5,500. That is top priority right now. And besides, they're still allegedly happy. Allegedly. Are they really abandoning their cliff houses, or did they just fall off? That's a good question. Somebody built a new cliff house, but they had the they had the wisdom to build a guardrail, so I'm guessing it's the latter there. They built a guardrail here, so these guys should be fine as long as they don't, you know, fall out this window. I'm sure it'll be fine. That's quite the little patio that they've got here. Okay, sure. So we need a little bit of industrial. We've got some fires going on in our industrial district right now, but it looks like that's reasonably under control. We've got an additional fire. Okay, maybe we could use an additional firehouse up here. Maybe. We'll put it in right here. There we go. The fire helicopters are on it, but that takes a little while, and it might burn down. But we'll get that done. Yeah, our citizens currently want parks. They're very rude. I suppose we could give them one, but it's just going to be a bouncy castle. Here, have a bouncy castle. Perfect. They love the new park. It's literally just a bouncy castle. And no one is visiting it. Yet, anyway. They probably will eventually. How many people are visiting our nature preserve? $285 people visited our nature preserve. It's just a line of tents and campfires next to an oil plant. Did you buy the soon-to-be nuclear lake? We can't do that just yet. We have to wait for 5,500 population to get an area. So we can't get it yet, but that is the plan. We're expanding our residential area in order to get that, and we also end up getting dense residential from that, so that will make things a lot easier for us space-wise. So we're going to bring this on in over here. The bouncy castle, it costs 4,000. Yes. Well, I just look at that and I'm like, I don't even look at that as inflation. I'm just like, think about this. This entire park costed us the same amount as 3 campfires. I'm just letting that sink in. Excellent. So we're going to zone all of this up. Apparently that can't be zoned, but that's fine. We'll need to expand our water, I believe. Yep, that's definitely going to be a thing. We'll bring that on up. Cool. Is it just me, or has it now been foggy for like 3 years? It's the Kerbals and their space program. That sounds right. Really? Crime down over here. I mean, we do have just the one police station, and it's way up here. So we may want to get ourselves a police, not an HQ, but a police station over here. There we go. How are we doing on education? We definitely need another elementary school. There we go. Much better. Cool. And fires out over here. Again, we should probably have a firehouse over on this side. So we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. And I just realized I've been on Cities Radio this whole time. Let's swap that over to all that jazz. And, not city statistics. Let's go ahead and turn that up a little bit. Cool. Fantastic. Another good one that I like is Synthetic Dawn Radio. That's another good one. Actually, let's do that one for a bit. And apparently sneeze. Fantastic. So, we're lacking in water, and I think that's a water pumping availability. Yes. So let's get ourselves another one going here. This power line is almost certainly irrelevant. So we'll get rid of that and link that up. Yeah, this power line is very unnecessary. Cool. Maybe set up the buses now. Yeah, buses wouldn't necessarily be a terrible concept at this point. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a bus depot here. And I'm going to park the bus depot in the nature preserve, you know, as you do. There we go. I missed 6 minutes. Have you nuked the lake yet? No, we're still working on getting to 5,500. Okay, so buses are on the way. We need to expand out our residential area a little bit. Can we expand this way? No. How about here? No. Here? No. And yes, actually. Cool. That's kind of entertaining. Can we go this way? No. I did set up the pump next to the sewage pipe. That is true. You know, I completely missed that one. It's because I originally intended this to be the pumping zone until I checked where the flow was. I'll move it. We'll get rid of the Coca-Cola in the water supply. Okay, and we should probably get rid of this pipe too. There we go. It was upriver of this, so it was missing the majority of the poop zone. But you're absolutely correct. There we go. Problem solved. Okay. Let's extend this guy on out. That slope too steep, which is unsurprising. I'm actually shocked that we could build this in here. Cool. And what we need more than anything right now is people. And that's all fine for the moment. Okay. Sickness? People are sick now. How dare they be sick? I suppose we'll build a hospital. It's not mining equipment, so I'm not happy about it. We'll put the hospital, like, up here, I think. And that's going to cost 65, so it's going to be a bit before we're ready to do that. So we'll come back to that in a moment. Sewage dumping. Yeah, that would be a thing. We would need to expand our sewage dumping as well. So we'll dump that down here. Perfect. I like how it calls it sewage treatment. We're just dumping it in the river. That's all we're doing here. And now there's dead people pickup issues, and I'm betting that's because our cemetery is full. It is not. We just need more pickup throughput. Sure. So that's fine. We will go ahead and do that, and we are going to need a second cemetery. I still don't like picking up cemeteries. Granted, the lack of healthcare might have something to do with this. Actually, no. It definitely... It couldn't. Why would lack of healthcare have anything to do with people dying? I don't think that's a thing. I'm going to go ahead and take out this loan here, and we're just going to get ourselves that hospital nice and quickly. Okay. Any moment now. There we go. And there go the ambulances. Oh, that was ridiculous looking. The ambulances just released the hamsters right there. I like it. And here they come. Hey, the mutated Strawberry Park has reached level 2. We can build a viewing deck and a tent camping site. And we definitely should do so. We do have some demand for all types, that is true. But we're going to come over here to our extremely low effort nature reserve. And we're going to build a viewing deck that has a nice view of the oil power plant here. And we're going to build a second viewing deck that has an even better view of the bus depot. Perfect. Perfect there. And then we're going to want a tent camping site. And we'll put that right about here once we have the cash. That'll be shortly. There we go. That was a decent influx of cash. And soon we'll get another one. I hope. Maybe. Water issue according to Twitter? Okay, we will take a look at that in a moment. Okay. We'll just drop a campground in then. But, like, here. We've got 2 people in this right now. Look at this amazing view that they have of the river. It's glorious. Absolutely amazing. They should be pleased to live in a town this good. Oh, our water issue is actually the, it's actually the cemetery. Hilarious. Okay, we're going to head up over this way, and we're going to continue to zone out over here. And we should expand our commercial area a little bit. Can we expand out this direction? Surprisingly, yes. Actually, maybe that's not surprising. Can we keep going? Kind of. Almost. Definitely almost. We're out of cash for the moment, but I'm going to rezone this to be commercial. There we go. How's our hospital doing? It's actually working its way through the patients. I think we've got that reasonably under control. Cool. And we are going to move... Well, actually, we'll just run a water line out over this way. Things are getting weird with the shape over here, and that's to be expected, in all honesty. Okay. Hey, 5,500. Cool. So, what are we going to do now? We are going to buy part of the lake. And with that purchased, we're then going to come over here. And as promised, we are going... You should make a sinkhole in the park, then fill it with sewage so you can have a picturesque lake for fishing, boating, and swimming. That is a great idea, and we're going to do that. I love it. So, first things first, we're going to, as promised, do our show of power against the Kerbals. And they're competition to us, of course, because they are mining asteroids. We need to show them who's boss here. So, we are going to do so. We are going to use one of their own asteroids to impact our lake. Done. I think that's how that works. I've literally never spawned one of these before. Does it take a while? Maybe. Place disaster to choose impact site. Maybe it's on its way. We'll see. We'll see if it gets here. I may just not be understanding how to do that. Maybe you have to like click and hold to confirm or something? No. Okay. Well, I've just spawned a Thunderstorm too. We'll see what happens. They need to go to space for the asteroids, but we can summon them to us. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not going. I've literally never done this before, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there. So, I mean, as far as the lake in our nature preserve goes, that's a great idea, and I do love that. Set the slider to 10. I don't see a slider. Oh, in here. Got it. There we go. There's a size 10 asteroid. Perfect. I'm going to stop that in case they take a while to get here. Yeah, here we go. Now they're starting to come in. This is going to be quite a show of power. Well, we know where this is going to be. And it's going to be very interesting. 2 5.5s, a Thunderstorm, and a 10. Let's do this.
Astrologists report that a devastating meteor will strike the city in the near future. Residents should seek shelter immediately if any is available.
Kaboom.
A meteor strike has occurred.
Those Kerbals need to watch out.
Avoid the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
There will be more coming.
Astrologists report that a devastating meteor will strike the city in the near future. Residents
Here we go again.
should seek shelter immediately
Boom.
if any is available. Meteorologists are issuing a thunderstorm warning for the coming days.
And here comes that
Citizens are
thunderstorm.
advised to
Hilarious.
stay indoors.
That's
a
fine.
meteor strike has occurred. Avoid the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
The water is very confused by what's happening, I think. And here comes that size 10. There we go. That'll show those Kerbals.
Has occurred. Avoid the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
And
thunderstorm
here comes the
battering
thunderstorm.
city. Stay
Cool.
indoors until the storm
So our fire
has
brigade
passed.
should be ready for the thunderstorm. I'm not too concerned about the thunderstorm. It may create some forest fires, but that's fine. Let's head down into our nature preserve.
Meteorologists report
and-
that a devastating meteor will strike the city in the near future. Residents
another
should
one?
seek shelter immediately if any is available.
Maybe. Maybe I did 3 5.5s. It did seem like this one was about the same. A size 10 should be hitting soon, then. Yeah, a meteor with size 10 is about to hit the city. So the size 10 hasn't happened yet. Cool. Here it comes. There we go. That's more like it.
A meteor strike has occurred. Avoid
Beautiful.
the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
They were going to mine those asteroids. But now they can't. Perfect. So we're going to start digging ourselves our lake here. So, where do we want this lake? I'm going to put it like right here. I don't want it to be too huge. But we're just going to dig this on out. And it'll be fairly deep. Yeah, that's nice and deep in our nature preserve. Fantastic. Okay. We'll keep an eye on this, but honestly, the flow of the water is this direction, so I don't expect it to actually make it all the way over to us, and even if it does, our banks are very high. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Let's wait for the entire city to flood. I don't actually think we're going to have that big of a flooding issue, so that's fine. I'm going to put in a single output nozzle here, and this might actually overflow. Shoreline recommended. You don't say. How do I rotate this thing? Not like that, I can tell you that. There we go. Okay. So the output would be like that. Got it. So we're going to put this here, and we'll just fill this up for now. We'll keep an eye on it. It's not a huge lake, right? But it'll take some time to fill up. And it might flood a little bit, but it'll go into the river. Oh yeah, we can build high-density residential and everything else. We're going to start replacing things with high density as we have demand. And I'm going to replace that with residential. But we'll start replacing some of this stuff. There we go. Cool. And we can't really make high-density industrial, obviously, but there we go. Beautiful. Let's get that lake made. This is going to be a prime vacation spot. Water outlet on land. Yes, I'm aware. That's the point. Water evaporates and outlets can be turned on and off to control water. Yep. We're going to keep this turned on for the time being, and we're just going to fill up this little lake. It's going to be great. This one is suddenly a bit louder, this song, but sure. Okay. So the question is, how long will this take to fill? I think the answer is quite a while. And we'll have to periodically refill it. But that's okay. We also might want to create a safety channel here where it has a slightly lower way to go out. We don't actually want this to be a river flowing out, right? But we want this to be just a safety outlet, kind of like that, where it'll just guide it to go out this way if I overfill it. Cool. Okay. Let it flow. glorious. This is a perfect nature preserve. I can't think of anything wrong with it. So we're going to fill this up. This nuclear launch will significantly impact the salmon population. That sounds right. Now we've got a little bit of flooding going on over here, but ultimately I don't think that we're going to be impacted by this. Maybe we will. There's a bit of industrial demand, and to that end, we should probably take a look at what we've got going on here. 4,900, 4,900, and 6656. No problems there. I would like to put in that factory. We don't have the cash for it at this moment. Okay. And it's huge. We can put it in over here. And I think that would be ultimately for the best. How are we doing on our fill of the lake? It's filling. But it's not perfect under any circumstances. Okay. Well, that's pretty exciting stuff. By exciting, I mean it's very slowly filling. Let's take it back up to speed 3. I just realized we were at speed 1 from the disasters. Yeah, that would help. Yeah, we're not going to have any issues here. There's a bit of flooding over here, but apparently this section of the forest is on fire too. Do we have enough to be able to get firewatch towers now? We do, and we definitely should. So I'm going to get some firewatch towers out over here, out over... Actually, we need to make sure that the nature is preserved. I think that firewatch towers in the nature preserve are not the way to go. We have to preserve nature. Okay, so we're gonna put this like up over here. We lack the funds for it for the moment, but we'll do something kind of like that. And we actually need one up here too because of LOS. I'm actually just gonna move this one. Okay. We have to preserve this beautiful, beautiful nature. That's very important. We can't have it marred by a firewatch tower. We can't have that happen. So our lake is coming along nicely. It's absolutely glorious. Dare use the tsunami disaster on level 10? Well, we ate a couple of those in the last one. I don't know what level it was. I think those are like 8.8, but we need to preserve nature in the nature preserve. Exactly. You got it. That's exactly how this works. Okay, we're starting to see this flow, so we are going to turn this off. No more inflow here. It's going to flow down a little bit through our overflow escape channel, and that's exactly what the point behind this was. To prevent it from just spilling all over. So that's perfect. We might just want to leave that poop river, actually. I think it's reasonably fine. Now we have a bus depot, but we don't actually have any bus stops. We might want to do something about that. How much is a bus stop? Free. Cool. We can do that while we're saving up cash. So, we're going to create a bus stop, like, over here. And going this direction is not the direction I intended to go. So we're going to have it come out over this direction, and we'll go, like, every other block or so. Something kind of like this-ish. Ish. Something kind of like that. Okay. And then we'll have a stop here and complete that line like so. And then I also want this line to, well, I want to have something that connects like that. Oh, that's very awkward. Not like that. I want to have it connect like this. And I got rid of the stop. There we go. And then it will complete the line like that. Cool. As far as all this goes, we're going to have a line that then spawns over here and comes around most of the way over this way. Like, this doesn't have to have complete coverage, and I'm not going to put too much effort into it, but we want to have a bit of bus coverage. You can come up around here, and you're going to have to take multiple lines if you want to go to a fancy place like your job or something like that. That will require multiple lines. And if you're in the middle, you're just kind of screwed. So there we go. Dear citizens of this prosperous city, you may wonder, why is the government doing this? Why are we putting an oil plant and a sewage lake in the nature preserve? Well, I'm here to answer. I'm just waiting for that answer. I want to hear it. Okay, so we're going to do some stops up over this direction. There we go. And we're just going to have this basically run the entire length of this road here. So something kind of like this. The Intercity Bus Station, huh? Okay, there we go. That's a mediocre bus system if ever I've seen one. Perfect. So how's this going? That's quite a lot of outflow. I wish that we could limit the throughput of this thing rather than just on and off. Like, we could set the budget for it specifically. That would be nice. Sadly, that's not an option. Nature has long restricted us, fought against us. It's time we show them our superiority. It's time they know mankind dictates nature. Mankind is nature, and God has put us on this planet to rule. I mean, that's quite a take, for sure. It's time to show what mankind can do, the wonders of making fossils of long-dead animals into energy, the power of consumption that can create entire new water bodies. This is the power of mankind. This is nature. Lovely. You guys are too good at this. Okay, so we're going to continue to replace some of this stuff, for sure. That didn't get zoned. Okay. Some of this didn't get zoned either, I don't think. Now, we don't want to replace all of this at once. We will lose population as we do this. Waste disposal unit, huh? But I want to get this industrial steel plant built. And let's get that done just like that. Beautiful. Absolutely wonderful with the fire watch tower directly behind it. I love it. So the question is, do we have enough outflow here? And I think the answer is absolutely. I think we're fine. This is our most beautiful lake. So what we need at this point is we need to go into our nature preserve. And we need to get some path going up here. So we're going to have a path that branches off over this way. And I'm going to use the freeform tool for this. We're going to come out over this way. That's already occupied. Right. We'll just have it come out over here. And you can tour our wonderful lake. And then we'll have... I want this to go over the river. There we go. Beautiful. Would you look at that? Is that not amazing? It's only slightly lumpy. Perfect. Is there a dock park item? That is a good question. We may not have that unlocked yet, but what we can do is I think we can put a raised wooden platform out over this way. Oh, that slope too steep. That's sad. This would be perfect if we were able to do this. Like, actually, right here works. Cool. A nice raised wooden platform there. We may not have the dock stuff unlocked yet. Fishing cabins, hunting cabins. Okay, but we do have some decorations over here. Ah, a kayak. Cool. We'll put that out there. We'll put a couple of kayaks and a couple more. Oh, you can't build kayaks on these kayaks on water. Okay, we'll just put a couple of them over here. Cool. So you've got your kayaks here. You've got your ability to look in. You've got a couple of kayaks that are floating out there. Fantastic. Absolutely lovely. And then we'll put an outhouse here. Because why not? Oh, public binoculars. Perfect. I'm going to put those. Let's see. They're going this direction, I think. No, they're going this direction. There we go. I'm going to put some right here where you can just see this. And then over this way, I would like to put them like on... Oh, you can put them on here? Is that underneath? I think that's underneath. Sad. We're going to put some public binoculars here and here, just to make sure they get a good view of the oil plant. That's perfect. I like it. Now we're going to put another viewing deck over here, because this is going to be very high demand. It's clearly going to need some additional viewing decks. There. Much better. Perfect. I think we need more kayaks, honestly. Let's get those kayaks out there. We got to encourage people. Be like, you wanna go out there and participate in this. This is going to be great. Absolutely fantastic. This is the best national park. And then we're going to take a road out over this direction. Like so. Perfect. Okay. And then from here, we could have another oil power plant, but that feels like overkill. Can we move our industrial steel plant to here? That slope too steep, but maybe if we were to terraform this. Bringing it out over this direction. Cool. So we'll do something like that. And then we'll bring this guy. Ideally, we might have to extend this road a little bit. Perfect. Our industrial steel plant. Ah, yeah. So picturesque. Lovely. This has only gone mildly sideways. Okay, we're going to need to get power out there. And we'll just bring that in like so. Yeah, the power line just really adds that ambiance. I like it. Now we're going to need water. And it would be really funny to just build a bunch of wells here and have that work. But I don't think that actually functions. We're going to build water out over here. Okay. Beautiful. This is truly the finest nature park.
The best views in life come from the top. Looking out from a window on the 70th floor, the people below you look more like ants.
Crash a stage 10 meteor into a rather flat plain of land and put one single tiny dirt road on it leading into the pit. Build a tiny town in it and then flood it with sewage.
Someone earning more than you,
oh my.
why would anyone compete anymore? From up here,
apparently they want more industrial, so we should probably actually do something that, you know, is helpful and functional in some way. I know that's crazy, but we should probably do that. Okay. There we go. Fantastic. And there's some commercial demand as well. So we'll get rid of some of this. Put a fishing route on it. I mean, I'm not sure if we can really fit a fishing pier. But we can see. Let's see, that is under here, if I recall correctly. Fishing harbor costs, or rather is, that's a ferry stop there. I need to remember where this is. We had one of them in the last city. Ferry stop, ferry pier. Ferry depot. Isn't it in fishing industry? Yes. So there's a fishing route here. We can put in a fishing harbor. This is a fish farm. That's kind of hilarious. What is this? A fish market and a fish factory. Hilarious. So we could try to cram in a fishing harbor. It's kind of huge. Building the ore industry area solves demand. Okay, good to know. We could definitely expand the ore industry area a bit. We could get ourselves some, not ore grinding mills. I was thinking some of these guys. And then we would just expand this road out over like this direction and then bring it down over here. Just kind of at random. Giving ourselves some space to work with. There's some tunnels there, I suppose, but sure. We'll build a couple of these over here and then like 2 over here. Now that's going to be overproducing for sure. We're going to need some glass and ore grinding. But for the time being, that'll do. And we'll get that done. Okay, and we'll need water as well. I will have you know, random inspector, that we have, oh hey, look at all this stuff, that we have a nature preserve. It's a very, very fancy nature preserve, I might add. Make a fishing area and name it Pooh River. The issue I'm having with that right now isn't so much, well, I mean, we could just make a fishing route. I don't think anything will actually go on it unless we have anything like, that's an invalid shape there, but unless we have anything that connects to it, I don't think anything will fill that out, but that's fine. Hey, we reached 7,500 population. Beautiful. So we'll put a fishing route on there for now. It's just that the actual fishing structures are kind of huge. Like, that's a fishing harbor there, and it has to be connected to the road, which we could do. I mean, we could do this, I suppose. The fish farm is actually a little smaller. I don't think that this actually sends out fishing ships. But maybe. Okay. Dam the big lake, drain all the normal water, and refill it with sewage. That's pretty funny, actually. Okay, so we're on polluted water. You don't say. This is a terrible idea. This is really broken. Wow, okay. So that's fine. We're going to take this out real quick. And we'll connect this in over here, and then we will connect this up here if we can, but we can't. So we're going to instead take this up over here, like so. Hello, pause menu. Maybe if you put the fishing structures on the river, they can use the connection. I doubt they'd be able to sail through this, if I'm honest. This is on polluted water, but I'm sure it'll be fine. There. Look at how preserved this nature is. It's so preserved. Beautiful. Okay, so we definitely need additional factories. There we go. And what do we want to get for factories here? Now, I want to go into unique factories and see what else we have available. Yeah, we can't build this because we already have one. We can get the electronics factory at this point. What does that take it? Requires plastic, glass, and metals. Okay. It's similarly sized. Now, we're not really producing any plastic. That's an oil byproduct, so that's going to be interesting for sure. Well, we definitely need to produce additional seabed mining vessels, huh? Okay, cool. We definitely need to get this rotary kiln going, I think. That is huge. Okay. We might be able to get that built up over this way somewhere. It'd be ideal up over here, I think. Yeah, we'll get that done. Cool. It's not polluted. It's extra fertilized. Good point. I've seen boats go over land. I'm sure they could go through a couple trees. Probably. Probably. We can try it. We can put in a fishing harbor here. And right here. And then we would connect that up. I would get rid of these. And we'd redo that. And then we'd bring this in. Like so. This is going to be awkward in shape, but that's fine. And then it comes out over here. We'll see if they can navigate this. Surprisingly, they can go through that, but I don't like the way that this is shaping itself. So instead, we're going to bring this out with a straight line tool over here-ish. Actually, I'm going to freeform it still, but I'm going to curve it differently. Okay. Beautiful. Now we don't have a connection here, and we're going to need one. So we'll just build this up over this direction. I'm going to bring this guy out, and then we'll bring it in like that. Cool. Fishing route on polluted water. No, it's extra fertilized. Like, it says so right here. Extra fertilized. You gonna send out any boats, buddy? There's a boat. Beautiful. It's catching river fish? Disgusting. Who would want river fish? Well, let's go. Isn't there a tool to follow it? Yes. Let's go. We're catching salmon. Fantastic. We're cruising. We're clipping through the trees. We're still cruising. I think this is maybe too polluted to catch salmon. Catching anchovy. Apparently there's anchovy up here. There's not much fish up here. But I'm sure it's fine. Oh, yeah. Best fishing route I've ever seen. And now we're catching salmon again. I'm surprised there are any fish in there to begin with, if I'm honest. So we got like 35% full on that fishing route. Okay, 40% full on the fishing route. Perfect. All according to plan. There's absolutely nothing wrong here. There is some crime up over here, though. So let's do something about that, shall we? Done. Excellent. We're going to continue to replace some of this light commercial here with dense commercial. Some of these don't like to be changed, so I'm just going to use this tool. Oh, I got rid of that. Unfortunate. But I guess that's dense now. Cool. We'll use the marquee select tool. There we go. Cool. So there we go. We are currently lacking educated workers, and let's take a look at our education. We could use another elementary school, and I'm going to put that like up over here. And then a high school. How are we doing on that? We could definitely use another one of those two, and we could use a university even. So we'll save up some cash for that. But look at that preservation of nature. I'm very proud of this. It is so preserved. Beautiful. And we're going to extend this road and put another factory up here too. So we can go up to here, and then this starts to get really, really steep. We're going to have to level this area out over here. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be a little bit expensive maybe, but let's level some of this. I'm going to turn our strength up. Yeah, we're going to run out of money as we do this, so we'll have to wait a bit. But I'm sure our fishing will be very profitable. Maybe the boats catch the baby fish from the fish farm. Maybe. How is the fish farm doing? It has no fish. It must be getting stolen. I can't see a reason why the fish would not be surviving here. Where are all the garbage trucks? Well, it's probably a garbage processing issue, realistically. We should get ourselves an incineration plant to get ourselves more processing. And honestly, I can't think of a better place to build a garbage incineration plant than, like, up here. Perhaps here, but we're short on cash for that. So let's go ahead and let this go for a bit. We do require more industrial, and we're working on it. But we need money for all of that. Cool. So that's all great, and we are going to continue to level this area out. It is expensive, no doubt about that. But we're going to have this done fairly soon here. I'm going to take this back down to speed 1 because it spends less quickly. And we probably don't need all of this to be done. So let's go ahead and see if we can extend this guy on out to about here. And then if we can bring in that unique factory, the electronics factory. Yeah, we just need cash for that. 150 grand. That's a lot. Okay. So I think our next step... Oh, we need power and water down over here. That would probably help. Sure, we'll just run a power line over to here. That's fine. And then we will run this line on over. This water line. Perfect. There we go. Mayor and his speechwriter in prison after destroying nature in city of Wyoming. Cool. Prison... Well, we don't have a prison, so they're going to have a hard time. And I ain't leaving this city. Also, people who aren't leaving this city. People in this lane that aren't going anywhere. We're starting to see some traffic issues. We should definitely build a proper thoroughfare like we were talking about at the beginning of this before I got distracted. But we also really, really, really need to deal with our garbage. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to take this loan here to make that happen a little faster. So we're going to get ourselves a garbage incineration plant. And once again, right up over here is just a perfect spot for it. Like right next to this observation platform, I think. About here. Perfection. The path just leads straight up to it so you can observe the waste incineration plant in all of its majesty. I like it. Oh look, they're even looking at it. This guy's taking photos. He's a low-wealth teen. Good job. So we're fishing on polluted water. Absolutely. Allegedly. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Warning. Experts predict an earthquake could hit the area soon.
An earthquake, huh? I wonder where that's going to hit. Oh, out over here. This probably doesn't matter. It might get us some waves, but we'll see.
Don't panic and wait for help if you are in the affected area.
Seems fine. What are you in for? Murder. You? Sewage fishing. I like it. That's pretty great. Okay, so we've got some destroyed structures out here, actually. A couple of structures way out here collapsed. Well, that means that we need to get ourselves our disaster response unit. So, where do we want to put that? I'm thinking somewhere over here. A space already occupied. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe like here. That'll do for now. Cool. Okay. So I do think that we really should build our main thoroughfare. I think that that's pretty important at this point. So we have access to some of this. Okay. Good to know. So we're going to start this, and we're going to go into here. We're going to grab the 6-lane road. We're going to go underground here, and we are going to start construction of this. I would like to have it be in between these. I'm going to turn snapping off, and it's still snapping. Okay. I would like it to be, like, right here. Okay. And the question is, how far can we build it before we run out of money? The answer is reasonably far, actually. Yeah, we run out of money up over here. So for now, we can put it into here. So that's underground there. And we're going to need to have a way to connect to it. And so we shall. So, way number 1. This is going to be horrible. I doubt this is going to work, actually. Way number 1 would be that this would come out here like that. And then this would come up here and would branch off. It's not going to fit, obviously. What we could do instead is get rid of this, bring this down to 2 lanes, and try to bring this up here. This is not going to go very well. I can tell you that right now. I'd love this to connect in here. It's not going to happen. We can move this back slightly. And this should be okay. So from here, we want to have this connect here, ultimately, and this connected here, kind of like this. Not exactly like this. It was a lot more graceful in its bend, for sure. But I'm going to have this guy connect right here. And then this, I would love to have it come out and, like, Y-split. Unfortunately, that's hard to do in City Skylines, to do a Y-split like that. That's pretty gross. So, how do we want to get this in? Let's bring this up like... That would be ideal, but that's not quite going to work. I think we need to extend this out a little bit longer. That's the shortest that we can do it. That's not going to work. Okay. Okay, so I need to think here about how I want to get that done. I think that what we're going to do... This would be dumb. I think that what we're going to do is we're going to bring this out like so. Can I now upgrade this? Oh, yeah. Definitely can. Cool. Then we come in here. Like that. Beautiful. Then we bring in this guy. And it would come up kind of like this, but now we can't delete this because we won't be able to manipulate it anymore. I'd like to bring this down to connect in here, ideally, but I don't think that's going to happen. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to connect this in. That's out of city limits. Okay, we're just going to connect it in like that. And of course, this side needs to be flipped around. Then the question is, how do we end up getting on and off of this thing? Well, the answer to that is virtually every intersection here. I want to have something that comes off, and this is going to use a lot of space. I want to have something that comes off here and goes underground and connects down here. So we come in like, oh, where is that? That works. And then it comes down over this way. But we don't have enough money for right now to get that done. So it would be something kind of like this, right? And that would end up dropping a decent amount of space. Maybe we do this like every other block instead of every block. Every block is probably overkill. But we need money. So let's go ahead and take this forward. This is not going to be doing anything particularly helpful at this moment. And this would be like on-ramp, off-ramp, I think. So then we'd have an on-ramp here like that. And then we would have this come off up here. And would come up this direction. I mean, ideally, we would want this to branch in up here, like this. That's giving us slope too steep, which I'm not shocked to see. So one thing we could do instead is we could have it come off this direction. Okay, that's all slope too steep. So it could come off this. Well, even that slope too steep. Let's go down to a smaller height step. Okay. That is a huge height step. Above ground, it's small. Underground, it's kind of huge. Okay. Well, that's exciting. So, how do we want to do this then? Maybe it should be something really weird. Like, coming out over this way. Yeah, probably not that. This has to go underground, but that's going really steep, really fast. Interesting. That's trying to only go underground here? Wild. Okay, well, that's interesting, for sure. Not what I was expecting, to be honest. I mean, you can do this. That's not enough space to get a tunnel there, that's for sure. Yeah. The problem is that this built very, very straight underground, and over the ground, it's not actually anywhere near as straight. So you can see we kind of get further and further away from it here. And then up over this way, we're going to get further back to it. It didn't keep to the contours of the ground. So that's going to make it more and more difficult to do that. More and more difficult there. So, with that in mind, can we bring it out way over this way? Actually, yes, we can. That's going to mean we're giving up a lot of space. But maybe that's okay. So if we were to do that, this one would be an on-ramp, and it would come in basically straight, like this. That gives space already occupied, but it would come in something kind of like this. Like that. And then over on this side, it would be a cross-traffic off-ramp. So it would come up to here. And then we are lacking money right now, and that slope too steep. But we can make it come up over here. Like that. That kind of works. Kind of. Emphasis on kind of. Okay, now there's no real way to access it up over this direction, right? So let's put in a way to access it from here. So if that's the case, then let's see. This wanted to be on-ramp, off-ramp, and then this would be like the other way around, right? So this one would go in like... Man. Yeah, it's trying to go so far underground here. That slope that you see right there, that is one elevation step on the smallest level. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Okay. Yikes. Would it not be as steep of a slope if further away from the main road? Yeah, possibly. We may end up having to take it like 2 away, like this. I mean, even that is slope too steep just on the surface. So that's going to be a big problem for us doing this. That's going to be a big problem indeed. Okay, what's going on over here? Oh, this was destroyed. Our viewing deck was collapsed by the earthquake. Very rude. Very rude. Like, that one has one of the best views, too. Like, oh, look at that. It's even better with the rain. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, there's a fire off over here. Now, how do we want to handle this thoroughfare system? I do want to figure out a proper way to do it, and this would work, in theory. We'd have to do some lane management, and I'd probably want to flip this guy around, like that, and then have these both be on-ramps, and then these would be off-ramps. That would be the way that I'd prefer to do it. Obviously, that's challenging. What if we tried to do it over here? Diagonal? This works. It's not pretty, but it works. I'd like to keep it constrained within a 1 block, if I could. That would be the ideal scenario. I mean, that works for an off-ramp. And then this would be similarly... Well, this one would probably be an on-ramp in reality. That slope too steep even up to the diagonal, though. So that's definitely rough. We can bring this out over here and then try to bring it up over this way. But I feel like it's just getting worse up over this way. It's getting further away, not closer. So I don't think that's super helpful. Other things that are not super helpful is this boiling down to 1 lane. Like, that's not going to be great, right? So I think for now we're just going to leave this be, and we'll start working on our industrial area up here a little bit more. We're going to be able to have our electronics facility very soon. We almost have the cash for that, but if we're going to work on our ore location a little bit more, then that's not so much. So this takes raw resources. Yeah, we could definitely... Well, we did build one of these up here. What else did we potentially want? A fiberglass plant. Okay, just looking at the size there. We could probably cram a fiberglass plant in over here. Yes. Cool. Hi, pause menu. So we'll get a fiberglass plant in there. And what else do we have here? Ore industry storage. Okay. That's a seabed mining vessel, which I don't think we currently need. I want to check in on these. Yeah, this is definitely starting to diminish its capacity. So I'm going to relocate that to be up over here. And then this one, and this is breaking our power. I'm going to relocate that one to be here, and this one to be ideally up over this way somewhere, I think. Yeah, like here. Okay. So as far as our power system goes, we're just going to connect this in here. Cool. Perfect. And we'll leave these around, because that is exactly how you preserve nature. Just leave power lines around everywhere. I hear that's how that works, anyway. Okay, sounds good. Let's get out of underground mode. There we go. And let's replace a little bit of our residential here. Cool. So we'll just keep growing for the time being. Well, we're currently shrinking, but that's because we are eliminating some of that light residential. That'll be fine. And I would like to get ourselves another high school. How are we doing on elementary? We're okay on elementary. Let's get a high school in here, and we should probably also get a university. These are also awkwardly sized, so I'm going to try to put that up on here, but I doubt that'll work. Yeah, no. It's not going to happen. We'll put it over here where we're putting other awkwardly sized stuff. Fantastic. Okay.
Hey parents, worried about rock and roll eroding the moral fiber of the nation? Tune in later as we interview Father Ricky the Godhammer de DeVille, the rock star priest blending raw anthems of disillusioned rebellion with subliminal messages of piety and devotion to the Almighty.
I was just listening to that announcer blurb there. That was a bit of a weird one. Sure. So, how are we doing on this intersection? It looks okay. All glory to the Hypnotoad, indeed. All glory to the Hypnotoad. This is very true. So we're lacking a little bit in raw materials. Let's see how we're doing on... Actually, let's look at our storage here. 100% full. 100% full. And they're supposed to be balanced, so that's the thing. This reminds me of another fun and similar game about road designing. Can't remember the name. There are several that are about building like efficient road networks. So how are we doing? Really? You're complaining about taxes. Get out of here. If you don't like our taxes, you can move out. That's the way this works. So we're currently having a lack of raw materials for our fiberglass plant, but that's reasonably expected at this moment. We can get a medium ore mine as well, and I wouldn't mind extending this road up over this way a little bit and putting in a medium ore mine up here. Cool. We of course need power and water for that. So we'll just expand that on in. There we go. And let's see how that ends up going. Mini motorways. Okay, I haven't heard of that one. So how much are we getting out of this? Quite a lot. How much ore do we have left at this point? There's probably quite a bit. Yeah, we're using 294 units per week. We've got a lot of ore left here. Of course, that's also counting what's in Smith Park, so there's that. Cool. But I definitely feel like I understand more of how the industry DLC works. That's pretty neat. We need to get ourselves some dense residential, and we will certainly do so. I'm going to put that up over here. Actually, I'm going to make this be commercial. There we go. Okay. And we'll just rezone these dense residential, and we're just working on slowly replacing all of this. Cool. There we go. That's good enough for now. These people will eventually move out because they're upset about taxes, and they're apparently living in a clique, so that's fine. Yeah, they're very upset about taxes. No one else in the city is, though, so I don't care. Our camping tent caught on fire. Hey, look, they're using water from the lake to put out the fire. I like it. Now, we do have access to hydroelectric at this point. It might break things if we were to build a dam over here. But honestly, I'm tempted to try it. We're very high walled over here, so I don't expect flooding over in this area. But I'm wondering what exactly will happen over here. I think mostly it'll just push down to the lake. I think that's mostly what it'll do. So let's put in a hydroelectric dam here. I would like to get that over this way. Am I building it the wrong way? No, I think this is the correct direction. Cool. So that'll produce 64 megawatts. If we were to build it over here, estimated production, well, that's slope too steep. Estimated production, 64 megawatts. Cool. So yeah, let's put that in over here, and we'll see what happens. I'd love to connect that here. It is space already occupied, but we could do it here. And that's actually 112 megawatts, and I think that's even better. Let's do it. So then we would like to connect in this road, ideally. That slope too steep, which is kind of funny, but we can put it in over here instead. Cool. And we should no longer need this power line. And let's see just how much flooding ends up happening here. This should be very interesting. It's going to start to build up here. It is imperative that you create a National Guard base to keep the population in line. I recommend yawing the oil fences, the police heliport, and a prison for basics. Toss in a police HQ if you want. Using. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, we could do that. That's definitely a thing that we could do. So, we're definitely having a bit of a height differential here, but we're continuing to pour our poop in over here. So that's fine. Technically, we're not utilizing the power that the poop created, but it's okay. And realistically, yeah, this water is just flowing this way, which is exactly what I expected it to do. It's just going to drain out into the lake. And that's fine. No real concerns there. Okay. Yeah, we could definitely build a National Guard base. So we're going to take this out over this way. We'll put in a road like this, and we'll go something like this. There we go. And then we'll just do something kind of like that. And then we'll just have this like curve along the shoreline. Cool. And then we'll use the oil industry fences, as you suggested. Let's see. Where's that fence at? Here it is. Oh yeah, that'll do. We're going to bring that in using the straight line tool, just like this. Cool. And then we'll bring that in over this direction. It just kind of clips down. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, sure. That's all slope too steep over there, but that's fine. We're going to bring this around over this way. Cool. And then around over this direction. Something along the lines of this. Cannot build on water. So I guess we'll be a little bit vulnerable over here. We will put in, to make sure that nobody's coming in over this way, we're going to put in a couple of lookout towers. Like, right there. We'll put another one here. And one over... Oh, we don't have the cache at this point. We'll put in... Actually, this one I don't like the positioning of. We'll put this one up over here. And then I'm going to move this one to be over here once we have the money. Which we'll have that soon. Never mind. We're going negative in cash. We'll have that soon now. There we go. We're going back positive. So we'll have that be here. And then we'll build another fire watch tower out over this direction. Cool. Okay. Then we're going to need, for our police here, we're going to need a police headquarters. That'll go right about here. Actually, we'll put that, like, guarding the entrance, maybe. We'll put that about here. It doesn't want to put it right on the intersection, so that'll be fine. We'll have the cash for this pretty soon. We've already gotten half of it, so that's great. That'll go in here. Well, we'll get more. We're lacking raw materials up here. How are we doing on that? It's just going to output here. Okay. It's all completely full up here. I'll put in a... no, that slope too steep. Never mind. I was going to put in a way to get up there. Maybe we can... I feel like this coal power plant would have to be moved, or maybe the fiberglass plant. Can we move that down over? It definitely doesn't want to move. Okay. We can't move that down. So the coal plant would have to be the one to move. That slope too steep. We could put it here, though. Done. And then I'm just going to connect up over this way. Like so. I want to extend this out ever so slightly. Sure, that's only a little awkward. Cool. Maybe move it to the airport if you build an airport for a military airfield. Honestly, I kind of doubt we'll get to that point at this point today, but we'll just get this area done for now. And I would absolutely love to get that police station built. So we're going to put this in over here. Eventually. We'll have the cash very soon. We just need to wait for another export payment to come in. That's mostly what we're waiting for at this point. Any moment now. We're making a little bit of money, but we definitely need that export payment. Okay, well, we'll wait for a bit then, and in the meantime, I'm going to work on replacing additional low density with high density. There we go. Garbage down over here is not tremendously shocking at this time, but we'll deal with that in a bit. I want to get this guy in. Hello from work. Shouldn't you be working and not watching? We've definitely got some issues with our traffic coming down here, but I'm really not too concerned about that. Did I up the taxes on the high density stuff? That is an excellent question. I don't believe I did. Nope, I did not. Fantastic. Thank you for calling that one out. Done. We're going to need water in our military base because turns out military people like to drink water occasionally. I know that's insane, but it happens. We're going to come down over here. And we are going to bring this on in. You're on break. Okay, well, that's presumably fine then. Is this going to connect? It is, surprisingly. I didn't think that was going to connect. I like it. So we also need a prison out here, and that's going to be a lot more expensive, 120k. I'm thinking about putting that right up over here. Or potentially, no, it's not going to fit there. So I'm thinking about putting that here once we have the cash for that. And for a police helicopter depot, that's probably going to end up being awkward to place. Honestly, I think this is going to have to move over. Because we can't really place anything over here in the precipitous drop-off. Police boats would be nice to be able to place down here, but I don't think police boats exist. So there's that. So we would need to have the police helicopter depot be like as crammed over here as it can. About here. And then we put in the prison. Got to keep our population in line, after all. That is absolutely true. We are still needing a little bit of residential work. There's a lot over here that we can work on. But we can just get all of this done. Cool. Don't want to do too much of this at once, of course, but this will be fine. Oh, this area didn't get zoned. There we go. Just going to get this whole spot done. There we go. So we'll get that rebuilt. People will move out briefly, and then they'll move back in. We do really need to do something with our garbage. We really, really do need to get more garbage processing here. So I'm going to put in an incineration plant. It will delay our military base. But here we are. What are we going to do? Complaining about tax, huh? You want to know what complaining about tax gets you? Bulldozed. There we go. Fantastic. No problem whatsoever there. So how are we doing on our ore production at this point? I want to check in on our mines up here. 5376, 7600. That's all looking excellent. We're not producing anything here right now because we're lacking metals and ore, but we'll get there soon. There we go. I just love our nature preserve. It's so preserving of nature. It's so nice. How are we doing on that anyway? We haven't leveled that up in a while. We need visitors? Huh. Why don't people want to visit this? It must be because our ticket price is too high. I'm going to bring this down to free. I want everybody to visit our park and view the splendor of nature. It'll be great. It will be absolutely great. We've got enough entertainment, so this will be fine. Everybody needs to visit the nature park. It is now officially mandatory that people visit the nature park. Beautiful. There's nothing wrong with the nature park. It's completely fine. So we're going to come in here and we are going to get our police helicopter depot built. That slope too steep. Well, that's awkward. Well, we're going to have to do something about that then. We will level it to this position. And we'll just bring this all up a bit. There we go. Cool. We'll see if that's good enough. There we go. Fantastic. Now we have some police helicopters here that we can dispatch. There. And they have a great view from the prison of the nature preserve, too. So, like, that's going to be great for rehabilitation. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. I love it. So we don't really have any demand right now for residential. We do have a little bit of demand for commercial. We can develop this area over here if we wanted to. I'm fairly certain that we have firehouses out here, right? Yeah, we've got coverage. We're fine. No problem there. So the question now is, can we build a jail here? It's sloped too steep. Okay. So we're going to need to try to flatten out this area now. We're going to grab, like, from here. We're going to grab, like, from here. There's definitely no problems with this whatsoever. Perfect. And we're going to build ourselves this guy. Actually, this works. Shockingly. That slope too steep over there. But we could build this here. I'm completely flummoxed about that one. But one thing I would like to do, we're lacking money there, but I would like to increase the efficiency out over this way with some workers' barracks. And there's also a maintenance building here. So let's put in a maintenance building up in this area up here where we're no longer mining. And I'm also going to put in a barracks where we're no longer mining as well. In fact, I'll put in 2. There we go. So that'll be fine. Fantastic. What? More people over here complaining about the tax rate. Get out of here before that propaganda spreads. It's just not allowed. That speech is not allowed here. I like how everybody's using the dam bridge instead of this bridge. They're just like, this one is so much cooler. And they're not wrong. It is quite a lot cooler. Okay. The next question is, what happens if we also dam this river? I have a feeling that would be bad. That would be very bad if we did that, I think. Also, I like how because of the dam here, there's a sharp divide in the pollution level of the rivers. That's amazing. It's just like incredibly sharp. And then it goes all the way down to here, and then it's just like gone. That's amazing. Hey, we got Big City, but what is this? Hey, Strawberry Park has reached level 3. Beautiful. So we can build a few additional buildings over here, and we absolutely should. So we're going to build ourselves some of these new ones. That includes the lean-to shelters. We'll put one of those over here. We'll put another lean-to shelter over here. This is an awkward spot to put it, and I love it. Okay. Then we're going to put in a lookout tower, and that's going to be right here. And we're going to put in a level 2 lookout tower over here. Beautiful. How's that doing? This chat is dead. Yeah, that often happens as we start to get towards the end of the stream. People start running out of steam, and I mean, I do too. So, fair enough. We're getting kind of close to that, but I don't feel like we're quite there yet. How are we doing on our entertainment here? We've got enough. So all we need now is visitors. Beautiful. Did you see that lookout tower? A brand new lean-to in the city. I feel like lean-tos are not the kind of thing you want to be bragging about in your city, but okay. So there's a lot of industrial demand right now. And I'm wondering, do we need more raw resources? Well, according to this, we do, but I don't think that we really do. I think that's kind of fake, but we could definitely get ourselves a medium ore mine and place that up over here somewhere. Yeah, like here. Done. That'll help that. Cool. Why is no one picking up the trash? Probably because of garbage processing, if I had to guess. But right now I want to save up for that jail. So we'll get that. We'll have that done pretty soon here, really. A lot of traffic right here. I'm not shocked by that. That's also probably a reason why there's some garbage pickup delay. Is this out over here? Yeah. Hey, propaganda. Get out of here. That right there, we can't handle that kind of dissent. Like, or rather, we can't tolerate that kind of dissent. That just can't be allowed to persist here. Not in this city. Not in this city. Now it's giving us slope too steep here. It wasn't doing that previously, but I guess we'll just have to work on getting this flattened out a bit. And maybe rebuild this one. That's fine. That should be much easier to build it on. So we'll go ahead and do that, and yes. Consider it done. Beautiful. So that's fine. I would like to get some more industry going here, and realistically, what do we need? I mean, I feel like we could get another rotary kiln plant. That's maybe not the worst concept. And we also may want to get a couple more ore grinding mills here and there. So like one up over here wouldn't be a bad idea. Any moment now we'll have the cash. Actually, we do right now. This is just slope too steep. We can put it in here though. And we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. As far as commercial goes, we could work on developing our commercial a little bit more. Bring this road out like so, and then connect that in here. That space already occupied by this firehouse, and we could definitely relocate that to be up over here. No problem. So then we would replace this with, not dense residential, with dense commercial, and then replace all of this up here with dense commercial as well. That should be our commercial solved, hello pause menu, for the time being. Okay, have we caught any fish in this fish farm? I feel like we haven't gotten any fish farm out of this at all, which is just hilarious. The flat area that gets hit by a meteor and a town gets put in it and then flooded with sewage. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun, but we need to deal with our power at this point. Ah, this connection got taken out. That would do it. We're negative in cash right now and still going negative. Okay, this got reconnected. We're good. We're not concerned. Fantastic. Taxes. Get out of here. Don't complain about taxes. So King Pit is level 4. The Mutated Strawberry Park is level 3. We need 5,000 visitors to get it leveled up. Let's get them anchovies indeed. The King Pit is getting close to leveling up as well. In fact, that's getting very close to leveling up. Beautiful. We're at 23% efficiency right now. We can definitely bring those levels up more. Cryopreservatory? We're probably not going to build that right now. More tax complaints. If they keep this up, we're going to get rid of everybody over here. We can't tolerate that. Crematoriums are now available, and that is a huge deal for us. We can finally process dead people. So we're going to put one here. We're going to put one here. We're going to start emptying this cemetery. We're also going to start emptying this cemetery. We're going to maybe have some dead people piling up while we work on this. Get out of here with these tax complaints. Nobody likes you. There we go. We should definitely do something about our garbage production, I think. Actually, our processing status is borderline, but acceptable. Okay. That's fine. Cool. So all things considered, this seems to be reasonably okay. I would like to get that electronics factory going. That'd be great. But we're not quite ready for that just yet. How many people are currently at our nature park? We've had 3,000. Cool. That is absolutely great. Hello, Edvin Eriksson. I just wanted to mention, since you popped in here, that I decided to go with your suggestion for the Stellaris game. So you'll be getting a shout out on that one in the premiere that'll be in 35 minutes. So thank you for that suggestion. I'm very much looking forward to that. Okay, so we're going to come down over here. These guys are complaining about taxes. That is not allowed. Get out of here. I mean, realistically, we should just turn it down to level 12. No one will complain at 12%. I'm going to do that. I just found it funny to be, like, accusing people complaining about a 1% tax increase of sedition. I don't know. I think that's just the kind of thing that I find amusing. So these cemeteries aren't empty yet, although they're working on it. They're moving pretty quick, actually. What a great city. Well, thanks for that, Annabelle, but... I mean, I know that you're not real, but thanks for that, Annabelle, on Twitter, because this is not a great city. This is the opposite of a great city. This is a very poorly run city that only exists to extract minerals. I try not to do alien mass genocide. I mean, it's probably going to happen because it's probably going to happen. But sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes they just decide to be fanatic militarist imperialists, and you're just like, well, I guess that's going to be a problem. Hearse is in use, 10 here, and this cemetery is going to be empty very soon. We should build ourselves another crematorium over here. This is definitely something that should happen, and that's going to go in right here. Because we're going to have a bit of a processing capacity issue with what we've got right now. That said, we processed 85 in the last week. We seem to be actually pretty decent for now. No water out over here. That's definitely something we should work on. And we'll bring that up to here. She could have a job in the mineral extraction industry. I mean, for all we know... This is not the same person. But for all we know, she might own the mineral extraction industry. I personally cannot wrap my head around Stellaris. From what I can grasp, it's a space RTS, but has no original lore, or the people I watched were playing with mods. Is it set in the Warhammer 40k universe? No, it is not. I would call it more of a procedural universe than anything else. It's more of a universe creator. There are mods that can put it into other universes. Like there's a Star Trek mod, there's a Star Wars mod. I'm sure there's probably a 40k mod. I'm not familiar with it, but I'm sure there probably is. And that's not part of the base game. The base game is essentially, well, if you know how Europa Universalis works, it's basically that, but with a sci-fi theme. Is broadly how it works. So this is going to be empty soon, this cemetery. That's good. That'll free us up some space, but it's not like we're hugely lacking in space. We're about to build ourselves our second unique factory, which will be... Let's see. That's a car factory there. We wanted the electronics factory. We've already got the industrial steel plant. The electronics factory will go in here. How much is that car factory, and what's the size of it?
Nothing says success like excess. And that's what we're
300,000.
Synthetic Dawn Radio.
And it's double the size. Wow, that's huge. Okay. Like, in reference to one of our city blocks.
It's true. Everyone can feel a little grody from time to
Yeah.
time. But that's when it's time to tie back
That
your
thing's
hair,
enormous.
organize
Fair
your
enough, though.
closet.
It's a car factory.
Considering the value of your wardrobe is a great way to remind yourself.
I
of
definitely
your
do
inner value.
want to
Here's
get
a
that
funky
built up.
track
We
to
have a
get
pretty
you in
big
that
industrial demand
organizing
here.
mood. This is Synthetic Dawn Radio.
We may actually have to expand out our industrial over this way, rather than just building it ourselves. And this would just buy us some time to do that. There's a new piece of land available, but honestly, we don't care. We have the land that we need for right now. So we'll look at getting that maybe sometime later. But for now, this seems reasonably fine. Okay, let's go ahead and get that that industrial factory I was going to say there. It's an electronics factory. Let's get that built. Now, we don't produce everything that we want, or that this wants ourselves. So we're going to put that in here, and yeah, there's not enough special goods. So that's going to be a thing. It's going to be lacking water as well. We're going to have to import some goods for it. But that's okay. It should still be fine. Cool. So we have the glass and metals. We produce that ourselves. We do not produce the plastics. So those will have to be imported. Cool. So looking out over this way, this small ore mine needs to be moved. It's no longer in a good spot. This is sloped too steep over here. Up over this way, I guess. There we go. It had tapped out its resources over there, so no real problem there. Now, I do want to deal with some of this garbage. We're borderline on our garbage processing, so we should definitely get another waste-to-energy plant here. And we'll just put one in right there. Cool. What are you doing, bud? Okay. That police helicopter was just checking in, making sure that everybody was following the rules, not complaining about taxes, visiting the nature park, working in the coal mines. Well, ore mines. That's all very important. Those are all mandatory to live in the city. You are legally required to visit the nature park. Hey, the King Pit reached level 5. Now we can get large ore mines and a shipyard. Interesting. But you are all legally required, if you live in the city, you're legally required to visit the nature preserve at least once per week. And you are legally required to work in the King Pit. If you work down here in this commercial area or this industrial area, that is an illegal activity. Yes, they exist, but they need to be fully automated. You have to work in the King Pit. That's how this works. If you complain about taxes, you will be summarily executed. Cool. So now that that's out of the way, we've got our law code done. We're going to build our road over here because we no longer have that cemetery. And we'll get this zoned with more illegal commercial. Perfect. There we go. And we'll move out over this direction. We don't really need to connect this up, but we'll bring this down, and then we'll need to move this police station. It's a good thing that we have police stations here, because this is all illegal over here. All shall obey the ore mine CEO and not complain about taxes. That's basically how it works, but you also have to visit the nature preserve. That is required. Cool. So we'll tick on forward here. There we go. And these guys don't have workers. Yeah, of course you don't have enough workers. They're all working in the King Pit. That's how this works. They're legally required to work in the King Pit. Did we ever build a university? We did build a university. Okay, cool. That's fantastic. Just checking our garbage reserves here. Looks good. This only outputs 2 megawatts. For some reason, I thought it output more. Yeah, it outputs 12. I guess it just doesn't have enough reserves built up yet. Or there's just not enough power demand. One or the other. Also, you destroyed a cemetery, which is very illegal. Oh, don't worry about that. We emptied all of the corpses in the cemetery and processed them in the crematorium first. So that makes it okay. Without the family's permission. That's a key portion of that there. We did not have the family's permission to do that. We just unilaterally said, this cemetery isn't a cemetery anymore, and we're going to remove all of the corpses. Oh, we have access to waste processing complexes now? That's actually a big deal. Okay. I'm going to get rid of most of our waste processing that we have up here. All of this. What is this guy? That's the police station. That's right. And what else do we have here for garbage? Okay. We've got this. And we've got this. Cool. So we're going to replace all of that with a waste processing complex. And of course, where else are you going to build a waste processing complex than in the nature preserve, right? Like, that only makes sense. So we're going to bring this down over this way. I want to get the correct angle so that we can actually fit this. I'm hoping we can actually fit it here. That's on water. We're going to have to bring it over the water. Okay. So we need a bridge over the poopy water. Perfect. Then we'll bring this up over here. And do we think we can fit it here? Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Easily. Can we fit it on this side? No. Okay, this is fine. So we'll go ahead and do that. And now we're going to need some waste transfer facilities. So the first one that we're going to do is we're going to put a waste transfer facility right here. We're also going to put one over here. And then we're going to put one down over this direction. We don't have the cash for this one just yet, but we will very soon. Any moment now. Mandatory minor jobs, illegal industry and economy, burning the dead for energy. It's still a far cry from what you can do in Stellaris. Honestly, you're not wrong. You can be way more evil than this in Stellaris. Reserve nature, process waste, thrive. That sounds right. Yep. We're processing our waste so that it doesn't go into nature. That's how this works. You can see right here, like, looking from this observation deck, right? Let's just take a quick look at what we've got to see. Oh, such nature. So much majesty here. Beautiful. I love it. So there's still some industrial demand. I'm just checking in on what we've got going on up here. This, what are we needing here? Raw materials. So we need ore for these. Fair enough. We could definitely get ourselves more ore extraction. And we could go for like a large ore mine at this point. What one is that? That's a fiberglass plant. That's probably this guy, isn't it? Yes. Okay. We're going to send a road off over this direction. I'm shocked that we could actually build up that. Oh, that's down. And not nearly as steep as I thought it was. Okay, cool. And we're going to put in that large ore mine over here. If we can find a spot where it's not sloped too steep. There we go. Fantastic. We will need water. And we'll just run some water up there. Cool. There we go. Beautiful. So that's all great. Now, did we ever build our waste transfer facility over here? Yes, we did. Okay, that's good. Now, it's a pretty long journey for the waste processing complex trucks to get over here. That's for sure. So, one thing I'm thinking about doing is taking this underground, like so, and then bringing it out over this way. Do I have a school or are the children in the mines? Okay, so we do have schools that are in the mines. No, I'm kidding. We do actually have schools. Okay, we'll connect that in over here. When you do atrocities on a galactic scale, nobody cares as much as when you do it on a city scale. I mean, that's just kind of like a human psychological blind spot, right? Like, the bigger it is, the less it matters. Because people, if you tell somebody, we committed this atrocity against 10 trillion people, that doesn't mean anything to people. But if you tell them, we committed this atrocity against 2 people, suddenly it's this horrible big deal that, like, everybody can't believe you did. But 10 trillion, that's just a systemic issue. 2, that's your fault. And that's just the way humans work. I love the color difference here. It's so great. I can't get over this. Like, look at that. Amazing. Amazing. Cool. So we're having a bit of a garbage pickup issue down over here. I'm not super shocked about that, but I don't think that that will continue for too much longer. Although we may want to put in a second waste processing complex up here, not because of the processing rate, although I haven't looked at the processing rate. The processing rate is okay, but it's more about being able to pick up from the waste transfer facilities a little bit more quickly. We've also still got this incineration plant that we kept around. I didn't realize it was still there, but I like it here. I think it's a good addition to the nature preserve. So we'll just leave it there. But I am thinking about putting in, once we have the cash anyway, another waste processing complex over here. That's going to be sloped too steep. So that's going to be a little complicated to get it put in there. We might be able to sneak it in over this way somewhere. Even that slope too steep. Fair enough. Well, mass murder does give a quantity discount. Fair enough on that one. Schools that teach children how to mine. Yes. Absolutely. In fact, isn't there a policy that's kind of like that? About, I mean, we could definitely do for-profit education. That's not a terrible idea. But what I was thinking about was, is there a policy that's, like, focused on preparing for, like, trades instead of for, like, university? I don't think so. But if there was, that would be amazing. We definitely don't want a workers' union. I can tell you that. I can tell you that right now. But I guess we can do for-profit education. What could go wrong? I do very much want to get another waste processing complex over here. I would really like it if we could squeeze one in over here. We could probably squeeze one in over here if we were to move the disaster response unit. Yeah, I don't think that's going to go over here. We could put that down over here, though. And then we can definitely put in one of these guys over here. Oh, yeah. Consider it done. There we go. And that's not because of us needing more processing throughput. It's just that we need to have more waste transfer trucks. That's the whole thing, then. Okay. So that is all good. But honestly, I think this is a decent time to stop the stream. We've got like 15 minutes before the premiere of the new Stellaris series. So I think I'm going to stop it here. We can take a break, stretch our legs, and make sure to be back in about 15 minutes if you're interested in watching the Stellaris series. So yeah, I'm going to stop this here, and a very special thank you. I should actually probably do the full outro, shouldn't I? You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, or really this stream possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.